Getting dicey.
So Edmund Hillary was a mountain guy, so don't speak ill of him.
Yeah.
He's great.
Think about that while you sit on it.
Of all the people I expected you to revere, Ed Hillary wouldn't necessarily be top of my guest list.
I think he's on a note.
Yep.
All right. What's the first question? Actually, do we want to just jump into the questions, or do you guys want to talk a little bit about now that it's all over and sort of done, or just jump straight in? Do you want to be here?
I do. I want to be here.
I just thought it was more interesting to have an orc face.
No, that's fair. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, I feel bad now.
No.
I'm going to wear it. I thought we were all going to be orcs. Right. Yeah. Because there was a lot of stuff that obviously we missed, and a lot of things that we even did, but didn't do everything, or maybe it could have gone a completely different way.
Yeah, I was just
spilled the beans
talking outside, so I just wanted to hopefully not have them picked up on the mic. There's obviously, with Curse of Strahd being very open and where you can go, there's definitely a few locations you didn't end up in at all, and a large chunk of Ravenloft, which is one of the weirdest things. But I think we'll get into that at a later question. I think there's a question there about some of my thoughts on the campaign. So what's question number 1?
Okay, so these are not in any particular order, but the first question that we had on the list were, what were all the dark gifts that were available?
Oh, okay. Good question. Let's jump into... I'll bring up some of the details for the Amber Temple, because there's actually quite a few.
I can start by... I remember the one that my character was offered sounded like the ability to crawl on ceilings and walls, much like spider climb, but I imagine it would be like a permanent spider climb kind of benefit. Yeah? No need to cast it as a spell?
Because we ran into some enemies with that, didn't we? That they were crawling up the walls, but they were blind, maybe?
Yeah, there was some that were... Yeah, that's right. They were blinded. I'm just bringing up all the... Here we go. Okay, there's one which is guarded by the Queen of Poxes. Her gift is the power of spreading disease. So the dark gift...
We've all got that.
The dark gift allows its beneficiary to cast the contagion spell as an action. After it has been used 3 times, the dark gift vanishes. And in return for only being able to use it for 3 turns, you forever reek of filth.
Oh, that's a terrible gift.
What does contagion do? Is a spell.
You reek of filth.
Does someone want to look up contagion while I take a look?
Yeah, I can look it up, but I imagine it must be a pretty high level spell. Yeah.
It must be. I guess
I'll find it.
The thing with these, as you guys are all aware, you don't really learn of the downside. So there might have been a little bit of a... First of all, what I just read is literally all the descriptor that is given for these sarcophaguses, these amber stones. So all of those experiences that I sort of led you through about these dark beings or dark powers talking to you and giving you hints about what it would be, and the darkness enveloping you and seeing this amber stone, literally none of that is in the book here.
Right.
It is,
well done.
The next one in that room is a dark...
Wait.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Contagion is a 5th level necromancy spell.
Okay.
And it gives a disease to... It does not sound worth it to smell bad forever.
Yeah, smell like...
It does not sound
like
worth
filth,
it.
Like filth.
Yeah, it gives out
what type of filth?
Well, that would be up to... It says reeks of filth, so I imagine...
They just mean shit.
It could be like a metaphorical...
Could be utter or absolute.
Like you've been rolling... like you've been rolling around in like a trash can or something.
No, I sort of picture it more of as that metaphorical, like, oh, he's a seedy pornographer.
Oh,
you smell like a seedy pornographer.
okay.
Like cigarette.
You smell like Oscar the Grouch.
There we go.
This is
Yeah, I
like the
think
bog
that's
of eternal stench, right? This.
Yeah.
Swamps of Dagobah.
That is so not.
So you get to cast
okay,
that. So what does that do though? What does contagion actually do? So
it has a variety of effects.
okay.
I just closed.
No, that's right. So you only get to do that.
Does it give them a flea and they move in a random direction and does 1d6 damage?
I'll just say what they've called. I'll say what they're called: blinding sickness, filth fever, flesh rot, mind fire, seizure, and slimy doom.
And do you just give it to one person, or is it like a thing that can spread, or does it say anything?
No, it just
doesn't seem
cast
worth
it on
it.
one creature.
You get it 3 times, and then you still just reek forever. Okay, the next one.
Sucks.
The next one is the dark power from the Howling Storm. Gives you the power to create lightning. Allows its beneficiary to cast the lightning bolt spell as an action. After it has been used 3 times, it vanishes. As soon as this dark gift is received, one side of the beneficiary's face sags and loses all feeling forever.
So Bell's palsy. This is very grim.
Yeah.
But you can only do lightning 3 times.
Yes. You get it 3 times.
Your whole life.
And then you've basically stroke face
It's
for
like
the rest of
a
your life.
stroke of lightning. I get it.
And
Lightning
also,
stroke,
like when you get that, like you don't know that it's only 3 times, eh?
No, you have no idea. So later
You'll be like, oh, I can spam lightning, and you do it like 3 times in one battle, and then you're just like,
not even in battle. You just like get away
You're
from
just
things,
showing
go,
off.
yeah, psh, 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 and then it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Hey team, check out what I can do. Oh.
It's like,
Imagine that happening to
Pretty
Bell.
cool, right? Pretty cool.
Wish I'd saved that.
That would have been really handy in the final battle.
yeah, it would have actually.
Just become a wizard. What's wrong with these people?
The Soul Hungerer gives the next gift, which gives you the beneficiary the ability to cast Raise Dead, and again can use it 3 times and it vanishes. As soon as the dark gift is received, the beneficiary's eyes glow a sickly yellow until the dark gift vanishes, so at least that disappears. But the beneficiary also gains the following flaw: if I help someone, I expect payment in return. So it's not too bad. Not too bad.
A good one.
That's just
That's
your
like
standard
me.
D&D player, to be honest.
Yeah.
Savnok the Inscrutable.
So hang on. So you get to resurrect
3
you get
people.
to raise. Oh, it's resurrection spell. Do you need the reagents?
No, it's the Raise Dead spell.
Raised. That is a resurrection.
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
as
it's
long as
making
it's
a
been
skeleton.
dead no longer than 10 times. No, you just can cast it 3 times, so it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What's
gotta
the
be best one
curse?
so far.
The curse is that your eyes are just sickly yellow until you've used it 3 times. That just goes away. But then you also can get the following flaw forever: that if I help someone, I expect payment in return. Which really, it's not that bad.
Like a
But
mafia
it is
member with
quite
Pepsi.
bad if you're trying to play a hero. You've become a bad person. So that is
true.
pretty bad. Like that would be devastating to a player like me who is like, I want to spread good in the world, and you'd be like, no, you're a selfish bitch forever now.
yeah,
I mean,
That's true.
we often asked for like
you did.
something.
Do we?
Yeah, but that's the difference, right?
Remember that deal we got one time with the coat?
yeah,
How fucking good was
literally.
that?
What code?
There's a difference between sometimes
jackets.
asking for something and demanding something every single time. You're now a monster.
Yeah.
All right, there's another one. Savnok the Inscrutable gives the gift of the ability to cast Mind Blank. Oh, the dark gift takes the form of a Mind Blank spell cast on the beneficiary. The spell has an extended duration of 1 year, after which the dark gift vanishes. The beneficiary's eyes melt away upon receiving the dark gift, leaving empty sockets that can still see.
Oh.
So
Mind blank.
it enables It basically makes you immune to psychic damage and any effect that would sense its emotions or read its thoughts, divination spells, charmed condition. So you basically become just immune to a bunch of mind things, but your eyes melt away, but you can still see.
That's
You
quite
get your
cool.
eyes back at the end?
No.
You don't?
Forever without eyes.
Sunglasses.
Ray Charles wandering around Pendulum.
That'd be cool, actually. Imagine if we met Ray Charles on our adventure.
The grave worm gives the power of flight. So the beneficiary of the dark gift grows skeletal wings and gains a flying speed of 50 feet.
That is quality.
The downside is you must eat bones or grave dirt to survive. At dawn, if the creature has not at least eaten 1 pound of bones or grave dirt in the past 24 hours, you die.
Oh, you die.
A pound?
Yeah.
What's that in metric?
It's like 400 grams of dirt.
Of grave dirt?
Yeah, you have to go out into a grave. Or bone. You can have bones.
Does this mean that your teeth become really hard so that you can actually eat bones? Or
I'd say it's magical, so it just I don't know. Maybe you got to break it up. Maybe you got to break up the bones.
You carry a mortar and pestle with you as well.
Yeah,
it's a waste of bones.
Stir it into some milk and just throw it back like a protein shake.
What about a broth, or maybe like a nice roasted marrow? So most of your quest is now taken up doing quite chefy dishes.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Just trying to find ways to make bones palatable.
Some sort of molecular gastronomy grave dirt.
Eastern Blumenthal style.
A foam, a grave foam.
Do you guys want all of these? Because there's still quite a few more.
Yes.
The Lady of Delight gifts the ability to cast the suggestion spell as an action, and saving throws against the spell have a disadvantage. After you've used it 3 times, the gift disappears. But you gain an extra finger on each hand, and the floor.
Awesome.
I can't get enough pleasure. I desire others to create beauty for me at all times. So it makes you just hungry for pleasure. That's why you got the extra finger on the hand.
Is that like that ultimate hand job? What the fuck? 6 fingers.
Let's keep going. Drizzlash, the 9-eyed spider, which I believe you did meet. Gives the beneficiary the ability to climb difficult surfaces, including upside down ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. So basically, spider climb. The beneficiary of the dark gift grows an extra eye somewhere on its body. The eye is blind and forever open. So that was those creatures that you saw. They all had a third eye somewhere on their face. That was
third eye blind.
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait. Is that the only downside? That's pretty
you
manageable.
get a grotesque eye where I decide to put it.
Yeah, that's all good.
Where would you decide?
I should have taken that.
Yeah, where would you put it?
Does it have nerve endings?
I don't know.
Well, okay, let's say America
Hay
took
fever?
that. Where would you have put the eye?
Where would you
I
put
feel
it?
like
I know where you'd put it.
I'd probably put it somewhere on the face in an abnormal spot. Just somewhere that's not
any place is abnormal.
I know, but like middle of the forehead is just boring. I don't want to put it on the nose. If you put it on the neck or something, you can cover it with a scarf. I want it somewhere on the side of the nose or something. That's forever looking around, even though it's completely clear, white and forever open.
Oh, that's mean.
You could have a protrusion, and put the eyeball on the end of that,
like a snail.
Yeah. Or like a beholder. Like you're slowly turning into a beholder, one eyeball at a time.
There's Dalvanar, he of many teeth. I think you met him as well. He gives you the ability to cast the reincarnate spell.
So that's what Casimir took.
The beneficiary instantly... No, this is the one the guy that you met. Where it gives the beneficiary instantly reincarnates when it dies, as though it was the target of a reincarnate spell. Remember, you talked to someone that had heaps of teeth and you kept getting stabbed and killed.
In half.
Yeah. And the new body appears within 10 feet of the old one after it's been used 3 times, so you get to reincarnate 3 times. The dark gift vanishes. The beneficiary loses all of its teeth until it reincarnates for the 3rd and final time. So it's also, you're just toothless.
Fuck me, I should have taken that. I would have been invincible.
I reckon it would have been Maybe no. Maybe no marriage, actually.
She's
Well, I
quite
wouldn't have
shallow.
like, gone up to her like all gummy with it. I would have got some like falsies put in,
Imagine if you had to eat bones at the same time, though.
gum them to death.
Gum the bones down each night. 400 a pound.
Sorry. So you lose all your teeth, is that the?
Yeah, but you only lose them until your third reincarnation, so it's not even one of the faults that stay forever. It's not bad.
So after you kill Strahd, you just kill yourself a few times.
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, but you don't know that. You don't know that going.
That is true.
Right?
You don't know that going through. Yeah, you also don't know that you can only use it 3 times. Your just teeth would come back, and you'd be
just
like,
do it the 4th time.
your teeth would come back, and you'd be like, "Is that a sign?"
That's the giveaway. Yeah.
We'll just try it once more and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like your adult teeth.
You just have baby teeth until that last one. Then you've got the Kingmaker, which is the one that Bill took, which was obviously the charisma boost and not being able to take no for an answer. Delbin, the Star of Ice and Hate, is the power to unleash deadly cold. So you get to cast Cone of Cold. After using it 7 times, it vanishes.
Cone of Cold's a big spell.
Yeah. Until it vanishes, you also get the benefits of a Ring of Warmth. So cold does nothing for you. And the only flaw is fire terrifies me.
Well, that's quite
Okay,
bad.
well, that's a pretty big flaw. Good luck existing in civilization.
I'm sitting here with like just electricity going, why would I be scared of fire? I'm never going to be fire.
Any candle in a
True.
tavern, you'd be like, oh my god. And,
that's a
have
good
to run
point.
away.
It depends on how bad, like how you interpreted that and how
Terrified?
you and stuff.
Terrified.
Terrified. That's like the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Well, is there like a terrified condition? Oh, there's not. I thought there might be.
Where's
We'd have
frightened?
We'd have to figure that out.
Frightened
Yeah, it'd be
is the
frightened, I
condition.
guess. You just want to get away from it. You'd have to, against your control, sort of just like run away in the opposite direction.
I feel like that would be the kind of spell where, as the DM, you'd have to constantly be like on the player, like, you'd actually be terrified right now and you'd be running away and screwing up everyone's plans, and the player would be like, oh, would I though? I'm not that. I feel like even though he's terrified, he would probably just act normal.
He just
He'd be like,
holds
no,
his
you
hand
don't.
up so he can't see it.
Yeah, if you're a wizard, if you're a wizard, you couldn't cast Fireball.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or Scorching Ray or Firebolt.
I would say that
Charles.
if you were a wizard, I would probably force the player to remove all fire spells from their book, like tear the pages out of their book.
Yeah, that's only logical.
Quit smoking though on the plus side, wouldn't you?
True. You could vape.
Vape.
That's popular.
Kirad, the Star of Secrets, gives the gift of divination. You can cast the scrying spell 3 times before it vanishes, but your voice becomes a low whisper, and your smile becomes cruel and evil.
I know people like that, but they must have the scrying spell. I wonder if you help me out. They're just on a bit of a project.
The Eye of Shadows grants the benefit of true sight up to a range of 60 feet, and that lasts for 30 days. The eyes of the beneficiary become starry voids until the dark gift vanishes. But you also gain the flaw of, I believe that all life is pointless and look forward to death when it finally comes.
Normal.
Best one. That is the best one. Just become a nihilist. So good.
What's even the point anyway? The whole
You'd be
rest
like
of
this
the
though,
campaign.
like, oh, what's the point in life? Just top self, really.
Yogg the Invincible gives you a hit point max, raises your hit point max by 30, and it lasts for 10 days. But you get oily black fur covering your face and body forever.
Ooh, whoa.
Oily black fur. Like an otter.
Whoa, that's freaky.
A black otter.
Yeah, I think.
So you have it forever, but I assume it grows back.
Like if you shave
You
it.
can get a wax.
Yeah, if you shaved it.
Yeah.
Like
Or would it pop straight back?
Oh, it's
How
magical.
would you DM that?
I would make it like, it would grow back within an hour. Yeah. The Eye of Shadows, isn't it? Did I just say that one? Yeah, I already said that one. Okay, three more. Norganus, the Finger of Oblivion. gives you the Finger of Death spell, and you can use it 3 times.
3?
When it vanishes, you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or drop to 0 hit points.
You're going to say all your fingers fall off.
The Dark Gift turns the beneficiary's blood pitch black and viscid like tar. So that's all right. You can just have thick blood. It's not so bad.
That's
What's your
weird.
blood pressure?
It's like, why would that matter?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how I would DM anything for that.
Well, because if you got
probably
cut and you're in the presence of people that you were hoping to earn the trust of or something like that, they'd be like, he's a monster.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or you could give the player a heart attack.
Yeah.
I mean, if your blood's thick.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel like tightness in your chest.
You're like, compared to the general population, you are going to have a higher level of clotting risk. So back to that end.
Vaughned the Evasive grants the beneficiary the benefits of an amulet of proof against detection and location and a ring of evasion that lasts for 10 days. You become twitchy and nervous, and you can't give a straight answer to any question.
Like you're on border patrol.
Yeah. We should have a border patrol RPG.
That'd be awesome.
Try and get through the border with like a whole bunch of drugs up your asses.
I know what the next campaign one-shot's going to be. The Hellhound Whisperer. The beneficiary of the Dark Gift can summon and control 2 Hellhounds. Both hounds appear at the same time, and the beneficiary can summon hounds only once, and the Dark Gift vanishes when the hounds die. So you can bring them out once, and they can stay with you until they die. Once they die, that's it. You gain the ability to speak and understand Infernal. Sulphurous smoke issues from the beneficiary's pores whenever he or she speaks Infernal.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be speaking of that. That's probably a benefit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was speaking Infernal again.
I didn't hear anything, actually. I didn't.
The Hellhound did it.
So I just need to say something. I just got to say something in Infernal just for No, I just whispered it. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Can someone enlighten me? What's the difference between Abyssal and Infernal?
That's a good question.
That is a great. Oh wait, there might be 3 more here actually.
3 more days.
Goodness.
How many sarcophagi?
If you're in the chat and you know the difference between Abyssal and Infernal, please enlighten.
I would say most of these are not worth it at all.
Well, okay, so this is the big one. So the Dark Gift of the Vampire, which is obviously, I think that is where sort of Strahd got his thing. The vampire's gift is the immortality of undeath. If the Dark Gift is accepted, its effect doesn't incur until the following conditions are met in the order given below. So they slay another humanoid that loves or reveres him or her, then drinks the dead humanoid's blood within 1 hour of slaying it, or the beneficiary dies a violent death of at the hands of one or more creatures that hate it, which is the thing that happened to Strahd. And then they instantly become a vampire under the Dungeon Master's control. So if someone else had taken that, I get control of you.
Under the DM's control.
You basically lose your character.
Right. But what's the benefit?
That you become immortal.
Oh, until you killed someone that you love or something.
No, that's what triggers it. You become immortal once you do one of those 2 things.
Yeah, and then when do you become a vampire though? Like under the DM's control?
The moment you do one of those 2 things.
But what's the benefit?
The benefit is you're
Immortality.
Being a vampire, but you're no longer playing, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
as far as playing as a character thing,
your character is
no
immortal.
benefit.
There's no benefit to you, the player.
Yeah,
but there is for the.
It's not like the other ones where you go, well, it's okay, but actually you're not playing anymore.
So if you're metagaming, it's bad. If you're not metagaming, it's kind of fine.
It's like, oh, cool, I can cast that spell. Yeah, but I do it all now. Thanks.
Yeah,
so you can just roll up a new character.
By the way, Lark Kiwi answered my question. So Abyssal is the language of demons, who are chaotic evil, and Infernal is the language of devils, who are lawful evil.
Okay, that's interesting. The Dark Gift of Tenebrous. to any humanoid creature of evil alignment that can cast 9th level wizard spells, which basically is the secret of lichdom. So there is a
Shannon, you missed out.
you have to be evil aligned. I was going to ignore that. I was going to let anyone do that just because I don't like good and evil. Anyone can become evil. Anyone can become good. So I would have just made this thing change you, I think, if you had wanted to accept it.
You become
But didn't you say they have to be able to cast 9th level spells?
They have to cast, so they have to be pretty powerful. They do have to be very powerful. So, and you get given 2 tasks to do, which is craft a phylactery and imbue it with the power to contain your soul, and concoct a potion of transformation that turns the beneficiary into the lich. Construction of the phylactery takes 10 days. Concocting the potion takes 3. They can't be done concurrently. But then, again, once you've done that, I control your character. That's it.
Stink. But what's the benefit?
Become a lich.
You become a lich. That's a great thing.
And then the last one, Zudun the Corpse Star. Their gift is the power to raise the ancient dead. So as an action, the beneficiary of this dark gift can touch the remains of a dead creature and restore it to life. It's identical to resurrection spell, except that it works regardless of how long the creature has been dead. After it's been used once, it vanishes. The beneficiary of the dark gift takes on a corpse-like appearance and is easily mistaken for an undead. Now, this is what Casimir used.
Yeah, and he was fine about it. He
was
wasn't concerned in the slightest.
It's just taking on a corpse-like appearance, literally not being corpse-like, just looking at magically appearing as corpse-like. So he was fine.
He doesn't smell like filth.
Yeah, no.
Dead, rotting corpse.
That was really funny. The amount of times I had to try and just try and convince you guys he was just okay. But I liked that it worked, though. The idea of him looking slowly deteriorating and becoming that corpse-like was a legitimate concern for you guys, which I appreciated. So that was great. So that's all of the dark gifts on offer at the Amber Temple.
40 minutes for question 1.
Yeah, I was like,
on track.
I was saying to Reagan, should we budget about 5 minutes per question? That sounds about right. I was not correct.
That's all right. That's okay.
But they won't all be that in depth.
Yeah, they don't all have like 20 things I need to read out.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go to question number 2?
Sure.
Was there any other amazing, cool weapon we missed? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Yeah, there were some different bits and pieces that would have come in very handy. There was a lot of stuff in the if you'd gone crypt by crypt in that area where Petrina was being stored, if you had opened up every single crypt, there would have been monsters to fight. There would have been traps in there, but there were also a lot of magical items and weaponry and things that would have helped you out.
We'll go back. We'll go get that in the epilogue.
Yeah. But a decent amount. Like there was, I think, a luck blade.
A luck blade?
So you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with that with this magic weapon. But you can call on luck to re-roll one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw that you dislike. And you can't use... So you get that once a day. You can use that. It also has 1d4 minus 1 charges. So while you're holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge and cast the wish spell from it.
Whoa.
So the wish spell is huge. And it can't be used again until the next dawn, and it doesn't regain its charges. So it just... We'd roll the dice, that's how many charges you get. You get to use wish that many times. So that's a huge... Isn't that a massive, like, 9th level spell or something?
Yeah,
Yep.
you can do basically anyone with it.
Yeah.
It's like Dragon Ball Z.
Would you
let Dragon Balls?
Yeah, you summon Shenron and make a wish. Garmin Dude says it gets you a free item from wish.com.
Nice. What were you asking? Sorry, John?
I was going to ask if you would allow wish in your game as a DM.
Yeah, but I've had a look at this before, and there's like it gives you like 5 examples of how it can be used, And then it says you might be able to achieve something beyond the scope of the above examples. And it's really up to the player and the DM to figure out if it's going to be something possible. If you were just like, I wish for Strahd to just die, then no. It'd be like, doesn't have the ability to do something like that.
What if we wished for another Sunblade?
Well, there is, as I mentioned earlier, there was something very similar also within one of the crypts, which was a sentient short sword very similar to the Sunblade, but instead of sunlight, it had bright light. But other than that, very similar. And it could cast some sort of thing called the Crusader's Mantle, which I don't have the details for. So yeah.
Could you wish for Strahd to not be cursed?
Possibly. So what it says here is if you wish that the villain was dead, you might propel yourself forward in time when that villain is no longer alive. So if you were like, I wish for Strahd not to be cursed, then maybe we zip back 300 years.
Time travel?
Monkey 4.
This campaign just got a much
better. And that would be up to all of us to try and figure out what exactly we were going to be playing at that point. But yeah, I'm absolutely open to wish. There's also as Larp Kiwi said, I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll give you one more, which is the thigh bone of Saint Markovia. See if I can find that, which is sort of like...
It's weird that they named it thigh bone and not femur.
Thigh bone. Everyone's favourite thigh bone. Here we go, Saint Markovia's thigh bone. It's got the properties of a mace of disruption, which of course you all just know.
Yeah.
The mace of disruption.
It gives...
That sounds like our kind of streams vibe, doesn't it?
Of that old thing.
Constantly just bringing up weird little references to old TV shows.
You can anything with under 25 hit points can be destroyed with a single hit if they fail a wisdom throw, or and if they save it, they just become frightened of you for a while. But it also, let's see if I can. If it scores one or more hits against a vampire or vampire spawn in the course of a single battle, the thigh bone crumbles into dust once the battle concludes. So it's not something you want to use against them. That's kind of... Let's see what else is there. Doesn't really say much else other than that, to be honest. So it's good against everything except vampire spawn by the sounds of things. And it obviously has the stats of a mace plus some extra radiant damage.
Thigh bone of Saint Markovia sounds like a seasonal special at KFC.
But the Saint Markovia, that was the bones that...
The bones
that Lucian didn't want people to know about.
No,
right?
that was bones
Saint
of
Andrew.
Saint Andrew.
Andrew, that's right.
Which is the Pokemon, pretty much.
Different bones.
Different bones. These ones you're allowed to talk about.
Imagine if we brought that bone in.
Be like,
Lucian would have gone nuts. Is that another bone?
Put it with the others.
Put it in the bone zone.
Love you.
It's a game changer.
That is what he should call his church, though, the bone zone.
That's what the room.
Lapkiri says Markovia is the founder of the Abbey.
Yeah, that's right. The Abbey of St. Markovia. Where the abbot was. Next question.
Oh.
Okay, this one's from me. Does Dmitri of Kretsk's son still have a cursed personality, or did that disappear when we killed Strahd?
That is...
Joe's still worried.
I would like you guys to decide the fates of that one.
Absolutely.
I'll go on though, but what's the rule?
Well, I'll give you the rules of reincarnation within... Well, I mean, you know the rules. The rules are that if you get resurrected within Barovia, that shit gets fucked up. So...
Well, he's probably still
cursed, right?
In Barovia, the souls of the dead are as trapped as the souls of the living. They become caught in the mists and can't travel to the afterlife. When a humanoid who has been dead for at least 24 hours returns to life, either by way of spell or some supernatural means, it gains a random form of indefinite madness. brought on by the realization that its spirit is trapped in Barovia, likely forever. And then you just roll on the madness table to see how.
Okay, so he's still cursed by the rules.
By the rules, he's still cursed.
Okay.
Well, I want to do a roll.
What if we went back to Kretsk and killed him again, so he could then be resurrected again?
That's a loophole, right there.
That is a loophole.
Wait, but are the souls still trapped in Barovia?
No. You guys have brought down that curse. Souls are free to go back to the afterlife.
I can skip ahead to another related question if you like.
Well, first of all, Baron has rolled a 45, which would have brought him. His character would come back babbling and incapable of normal speech or spell casting.
I see, that's terrible. This is why I was so worried when my character died. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
That's fine with the babbling. It seems pretty par for the course, but the not being able to do spell casting.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Just an absolute bumbling mess, not being able to do anything. You guys are all rolling basically
nothing.
the same thing.
Oh my god, imagine a whole party of people just unable to do anything but babble.
Oh, wait, sorry. I think I might have looked at the... Wait, which one did I look at? Because there's a couple...
I rolled a 50.
There's short... Sorry, that was short-term madness. You get indefinite. So what did you roll? 45. 45?
Oh, okay.
45 and Adam's roll of 43 means you'd have both come... Achieving my goal is the only thing of interest to me, and I'll ignore everything else to pursue it, which is basically what we did at the end, just to push forward anyway. So that's fine. American's roll of a 50.
I think you're underplaying these curses by a lot. Okay.
American's roll of a 50. I find it hard to care about anything that goes on around me.
Okay, that would be a boon. I need that in my real life. Can I get that curse for me in my own personal life? Because I would like that. Thank you.
How many pages of notes? Someone, Hoju the Elder's asking, how many pages of notes in preparation were never used? Man, there's a lot of the book. There's a lot of the book that wasn't used. There was a lot of... I've got... I started writing a lot of notes in this book that I've got here. And I did get really detailed with a lot of stuff until I realized that a lot of stuff just wouldn't get done. Like, we'd just go off on a different tangent. I think in general, most of my notes I ended up using in some way or another, except one of my latest notes, which was I underlined "break the mirror," which I was so trying to get done, but it never needed to.
What do you want to break the mirror for?
The assassin's mirror that we didn't even use.
Correct. Yeah. I was wanting to break.
Go
that.
against the mirror.
Yeah.
What would have happened if we just said Strahd?
Okay, so the best thing about it is because you guys are all like aligned to good for the most part. Not that we use aligned.
What do you mean for the most part?
Because we don't use we don't really use the alignment stuff. Right? And you've murdered and butchered a lot of people in Barovia.
Who?
Mongrel
we
folk.
killed monsters.
Mongrel folk.
That's a mercy killing.
Would you say
like
people?
when you find a...
Do you think a vet is evil?
He's got you there.
That is fair.
Yes.
So the assassin do actually fucking vets. I'll see if I can bring up the details of that specific.
I think if a vet was putting down sentient creatures, well, I guess they are sentient now.
What? What are you talking about?
They're sapient.
Okay, so if
What?
the spirit assumes solid form, appearing as a darkly handsome 30-year-old man with bloodshot eyes. He's got these specific statistics that you wouldn't need to know about, but doesn't speak. And he disappears into the ether if he's reduced by 0 hit points. The assassin's summoner can command him to kill one living creature within Strahd's domain that the summoner mentions by name. The assassin automatically knows the distance and direction to the named target. The assassin attacks any other creatures that tries to prevent him from completing his assignment. And once he completes his task, the assassin disappears. However, if commanded to attack a creature that is dead or undead, or if he isn't given an appropriate name within 1 round of being summoned, he just disappears, and that's it. So if you'd gone, Strahd, he'd have gone, and just faded off into nothingness.
Or
Worst mirror ever.
or
Yeah.
Isaac.
Or Isaac. I think we were going to pick
True.
Isaac, weren't we?
Isaac was undead, so that would. he would
Isaac
still
wasn't
be here.
originally undead, so that was
But he is undead.
He is, yeah. By the end of the campaign, he was, yeah.
That's when we were going to use it.
Ah, yeah. You guys fucked Isaac up anyway. It doesn't matter.
Would have been good if Mirror Guy did it.
Yeah. Next question.
Well, I was going to say this is a follow-on to what we just asked, but
Oh,
then we
right.
went off on this massive tangent, so it's not really related anymore.
Okay, I've got one question for you guys then. A character that we didn't meet by the name of. Do I have his name here? I thought I held it. Here we go. I think this is him here. By the name of Lipsiege. Do you think this would likely to be Strahd's accountant? Strahd's groundskeeper?
Hey, come on, it's got to be
Or
groundskeeper.
Strahd's chef?
What's his name?
Lipsiege.
Lip Siege.
Well, that could be chefy though, couldn't it? You'll siege your lips.
I'll go his account. I just like the idea of Strahd having any fucking need for an accountant. I love this guy slaving over the books. Another terrible month for Ravenloft.
Yeah, we've got to be audited.
I've got a meeting with EY. I've got to get prepared, honestly.
Oh, it turns out that all the money in all the land is yours. Always.
Some of them actually have your face on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've made more money.
I'll give you the description for Leaf. He was pressed into service by Strahd many years ago. He keeps all the books for Strahd, recording the vampire's riches and conquests. Leaf has been here longer than he can remember. He's grumpy because Strahd doesn't allow him to know about all his treasures. Even so, Leaf has found out where one of Strahd's secret treasures lies. If he is treated with kindness, he will divulge the hiding place of the holy symbol of Ravenkind, as indicated by your card reading. So he's the accountant. He is chained to a heavy wooden desk in one of the areas of Ravenloft. And if he's threatened at all, he's alive. He's just a guy. He's just a guy. If he feels threatened in any way, he pulls on a rope to summon guards. That's Mr. The Accountant.
And he used to work for Nestle, but he wanted a less evil corporation.
Yeah. All right. Next.
So you said accountant, but he's actually a bookkeeper.
He literally says accountant. It says Leaf Lipsiege is an accountant.
Can you fucking idiots take those stupid snowmen thing off? It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas special. Is it?
Something like that.
Christmas special.
Quizmas.
Oh, Christmas. That's what it was. Yeah.
Joe, next question.
Okay. This was what I was segueing to after the son of the guy from Kresk. It's my question. Do the soulless folks that remain in Barovia have a way to ever get souls, or are they soulless until they die?
Now they've got no ways of getting souls. They were born without souls. They will die without souls, and they cannot leave Barovia. There's no way for them through the mists.
And
well, that was a nice, simple, easy answer. Bravo.
Wait, what's the implication of?
Sorry, go, John.
I was going to say, what's the implication of not having a soul? You've
They
just
can
been
never laugh or
bland.
cry.
Yeah, they
can't cry.
Which
They're cursed with the personality of Savid.
So, what do they find no joy or sadness?
They find no sadness. They're allowed to laugh, but they won't. They can't cry.
So they do find things funny.
This sounds like Upside.
Like if they if they heard like something like a door close that sounded kind of like a fart or something, they'd have a little giggle.
They would laugh.
But yeah.
I'd love to see one of these guys laugh. They'd be like, ha 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 ha. That was truly amusing.
It specifies
It's like
that
corporate gig.
it specifies that the only way to really tell someone doesn't have a soul is that they don't cry. They're hard to tell apart. So it doesn't really go into. Obviously, they are stuck in Barovia forever. That's obviously one of the other downsides of not having a soul.
If you'll remember, my plan to find out who's who was to put onions under their eyes. But we never followed through.
I can't believe it. Next question, Joe.
So we talked a little bit about this one, but Strahd was in disguise as Vasily the Noble at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to the coffin maker and stuff and putting together plans.
Yeah.
Right?
So the story, Vasily is really. I didn't get into this early enough. Vasily there's really no big or good details or plan for him in the book. It gives you a couple of moments that Strahd has used this alter ego and a spell to completely transform him, so he doesn't look like Strahd either.
So it is Strahd.
It is Strahd. And he's just got interactions with like 2 or 3 people, and that's it in the book. It's up to you to try and... I know there are DMs that bring Vasily way more into the story and have Vasily being like someone that the group starts to trust, someone that they can kind of lean on.
Oh, like a good NPC.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Kevin
spicy.
Spacey in Usual Suspects.
Oh, spoilers. But yeah. Like Kevin Spacey.
Or Kevin Spacey in real life.
They're just like Kevin Spacey.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was one that I didn't really. It was too late for me to do. By the time there was so much in this campaign to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Did it take us that long to have a 90s reference? A full a full hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say
we're slacking.
100 episodes. So we reached the 90s.
So I wanted to do more with Vasily, especially once. But I think the first thing you guys even learnt about Vasily is that he had this conversation with the coffin maker that there were a bunch of vampire spawn within. So it's just like, well, can't trust this guy anymore. Like,
yeah, he was. I thought he was just an agent of Strahd, like a vampire that he.
I heard what you made, Adam, as well. Yeah,
but
I thought you said he was an Asian.
I just thought he was an Asian.
Oh.
I was like, whoa, what?
Are there other vampires that are not vampire spawn?
Not in Barovia, no.
Okay.
Other than maybe one of the things, if we
vampire is quite a big thing then. Like if you're a full vampire, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because in old D&D, if you got hit by a vampire, you lost a level.
Really?
Whoa.
Each time you got hit.
There is an ability for Strahd to bite that brings you not down a level, but it brings your max HP down.
We would be fucking scared of a vampire
if
even
it lost
more.
a level, Jesus, that's terrifying.
And that's when you hardly even got levels. It'd be like...
I mean, American got hit like 3 times and died.
Like 6 times.
It's kind of like losing all your levels.
But then when you wake up, you're 3rd level or something.
I wanted to bring Vampire in to the story. I wanted to maybe make Strahd a little less able, and then like knock him down, and then Vampire show up to basically stop you from killing Strahd.
What does Vampire look like?
Vampire is one of the dark powers. So like one of the dark ones. I was going to bring that in, but we suddenly needed to wrap it up quicker, so I just quickly sorted out Strahd to make sure that it was going to be a good fight.
Would that be like demigod sort of level?
Yeah.
I remember Exithandor said that the Dark Powers were scared of Strahd. Can you shed any light on why that is, if they created them?
That is, I don't even know if this goes into that fully. I don't know if I have the details for that one without getting a bit lost in the book, to be honest.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, given how powerful they seem to be, that they'd be worried about.
Well, I think in general, a lot of the dark ones are not as powerful as Vampire. Like the three that were in that last section of sarcophagi. So that was sarcophagi. We've got the Vampire, we've got the Lich one, and we've got the Resurrect one. Those are the three of like the strongest dark ones, right? The rest are definitely not at that sort of level. So I would probably posit that Strahd was likely stronger than a lot of these dark ones.
They're more cunning, are they? Trick people into doing things.
Interesting.
Larp Kiwi says, it's complicated. There are actually two groups of entities, the Dark Powers and the Dark Vestiges. Yeah, so those last three are the Vestiges. The one that's the Vampire, Tenebrous, and Zudun are the Vestiges. And the rest of the Dark Powers. Yeah. I assume, just like a lot of other bits about Strahd's history, there's probably a lot, and there's a novel, I think, called I Strahd or something like that. I can't remember, but it's meant to be. A lot of people think you need to read that before DMing this to get a real understanding of Strahd's background. Something like that.
That method.
How gutted would you be if your players just like one-rounded Strahd after you read all that and did the whole campaign? So just over-leveled him and just came in after doing every single side quest.
yeah. And I think there's like, I think as written, Strahd, when I first looked at Strahd's character sheet, I was like, damn, he really talks a big game. Because I didn't think it was that great. And I think you guys probably, I don't know. I think I bumped up his hit points a bit, but that's really, and I gave him heat metal. And that's kind of all I did to adjust.
You did give him heat metal?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But I gave him that like from the very early on.
That's
that
a good.
Always going to be something.
Underrated.
We gave him plate mail as well, just to make his AC bumped up.
What was his AC?
16, and we bumped it up to 18 with plate mail.
We could have heat metaled him.
You could have. Next question, or do we want to talk about Strahd since we're talking about Strahd? Because I think you've got a question there about Strahd's moveset or something along those lines.
Yeah, we had that one right at the end, which was just what was Strahd's moveset.
Effectively, so he's got lair actions and he's got legendary actions. So at the start of the round, he can pick a lair action. And the one that I kept picking, except for one round, was the ability to just walk through walls and ceilings and floors and just being able to move through as if they weren't there. So every round, he could do that for an entire round. There was one round where I changed the lair action to try and take Bill's shadow away from him, to try and basically spawn a shadow creature to fight alongside. But obviously not with Bill's charm through the roof. Charisma.
He fucked up.
He did. I fucked up. I was in my head. I was meant to be. I even wrote down not to target you, but in the heat of the moment, I targeted you. So I fucked up on that one. The other thing was his legendary actions. Every round he gets 3 legendary actions, and he can move, strike, or bite someone once after someone takes a turn. So every round he can do something at least after 3 people's turns. So what I often did was waited them, like see his turn was coming up and give like 2 of his legendary actions before for the 2 people before his move. So it would feel like oh, someone's done a move and then he's attacked, and then someone's done a move and then he's attacked, and then he'd have his turn, and then someone would have a turn and he'd attack. So he would get like a huge number of moves, and then just to make it feel a bit more stressful, it would be really quickly moved to the next round, in which he got 3 more legendary actions, and I'd put them at the start of the round just to make it feel like he is just being relentless with his attacks. So it would there was a possibility within like a round and a half to get out basically 7 or 8 attacks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then the moving in and out of the walls, he could just use his movement just to disappear instead of attacking after someone's turn. He could just disappear. Or on his turn, he could just have his attack and then meld through the floor and gone. And so it just enabled me just to really make him a nuisance, basically. If he couldn't go through walls, I think you guys would have fucked him up so much faster.
It definitely felt I felt harried by him. Like he was just always doing something where you're like, fucking hell, this is so inconvenient to us. Which is cool because like in a turn-based combat, if he only has 1 turn to our 5 turns. Well, sorry, how many? We had 6 turns, right, with Petrina and Irina.
And was he able to choose to not fail? Is that right?
And he could basically, he had what's called legendary resistance. So 3 times a day, he can just choose to succeed on a fail. Yeah.
Right. I thought when he was disappearing through the floor that he was going to pop up in a different part of Ravenloft and somehow lure us there. I thought we would have been chasing him and we would have been burning like spells and stuff, like taking out other things on the way to him.
Right.
That'd be a long chase that way.
That freaked me out.
Yeah. When he did the first one, I thought that. And then he kept on popping back up in the room and I was like, oh, okay, like the fire's here.
Labkiwi said, and I agree, I thought you guys would have used the symbol more. The symbol.
There he is, get him!
The holy symbol of Ravenkind. I mean,
Well, I know what system I need to use for next campaign.
That's right.
The holy symbol.
Yeah.
Of Ravenkind.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you used it as much as you could, didn't you? Or...
Nah. He had some big moves he could have burst out, but he just kept using the single shot hold vampire, right?
Well, here's the thing: is the one that uses 5 charge, which is like the big spell, puts sunlight in an area, but we had the sunblade already out.
Right.
So it was. So I would have basically used 5 charges. There's 10 charges total. I would have used 5 charges to do the same thing that the Sunblade does with a bonus action, just by being out. So I think having it completely lock down Isaac for the entire encounter
that was good.
Was like pretty OP. I think that I think 1 charge for hold vampires is probably too good on that item. Like if I was going to run it, I probably would say like 2 to 3. Because I just felt like I didn't have to ration it that at all.
But did you get a chance to do hold vampire and Strahd? Because that would really screw him.
No, I didn't. So the one time that I could have, he appeared more than 30 feet away.
Yeah.
I specifically did that.
Yeah, which is what an intelligent enemy would do, right? It's like, oh, he's using hold vampire on Isaac. I can see that, and I'm an intelligent vampire. I'm not going to just sit there and have it happen to me. So I thought that was good. The other one was so there's 3 spells. There's hold vampire, which costs 1. There's I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like sunlight or something, which costs 5 charges, and then there was turn undead or turn the unholy, which would have actually affected the Baron skeleton. So I didn't want to use that.
Right.
Because it's all undead, not just all vampires. So I was focusing on the vampire ones, basically. I feel like we got good mileage out of that.
I mean, you guys really just ruined Isaac. Just absolutely ruined Isaac. Removed him completely from the battle, basically. Which was a brilliant move because I think if he was in the fight, I think he would have probably. I think he alone probably could have killed someone if he wasn't restrained in the way that you restrained him.
And that was kind of our whole strategy was to manage the action economy and be like, well, we only want to fight one thing at a time. So we focused on Rahadin first.
Yeah.
Locked down Isaac, and then when Strahd came in, we just focused on him. If we had to fight all three of them at the same time, I don't think we would have survived.
Yeah.
Especially if we didn't get to lock down any of them.
I've got a question in the chat for you guys, which is what moment from Hoju, what moment in the campaign are you guys most proud of? I don't know if you guys have individual answers for that. Mary, start with Joe.
Oh, I don't know.
You've been quiet.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Oh, if anyone else has got an answer first, by all means.
Beating Strahd.
Hard saying.
That's a cop out. Does anyone have anything of value to add?
Yeah, I can do one. So when we first, maybe I'm mixing up some memories here, but when we first came out of the Death House, were there some things that tried to mug us? Or am I mixing that up with Phandalin? There's a group of ruffians.
No, that was Phandalin.
Okay.
I'll
need some time to think about it.
I tell you what, I'm most proud of you, John, when you did calm emotions in the Death House. That was. Was it in the? Maybe it wasn't in the Death House, but
it was.
That was.
No, it
I thought we
was.
were fucked early on, and you pulled that out, and you had like a beautiful speech to go with it.
The ghost.
And you saved our ass. It was really good.
Yeah, that was quite good actually.
That was super good.
That was really good.
I will say, so my, I kept on complaining in only plans channel, which is like a player only channel, about my kit, like my spells. I've chosen all sort of very situational, like mostly about managing people's, I don't know what the word is, like autonomy, I guess. Which often wasn't quite often what we needed was just a big blasting spell, like just do a bunch of damage. And so in those situations, that was absolutely useless. But in the situations where it was like, hey, just calm this one person down, that was actually quite satisfying to be able to pull out in those rare occasions.
My favourite moment for Morley was getting the Sunblade back with Mage Hand.
That was awesome, yeah.
Having to roll, and it was a super high roll to beat Strahd, I think, and I got the hilt of the blade just as Christopher Argyle was handing it over to him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice moment. That was good.
Good stuff.
I like the I don't know if it's like a moment to be proud of, but I like that we attacked the windmill, and I liked being a little lost German boy.
Oh, that whole thing was fantastic.
And
he was
with
American,
my wiener
the sussy dog.
Yeah, letting a nut off.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Letting off
how
the
could we
nut.
forget that?
What was it? I can't remember what it was.
Letting off its nut.
That was like I liked having a plan, that even though it was probably going to fail, but it was a nice.
It was great.
Plan.
Yeah.
I've remembered a moment. That sort of side quest where we took out that guy that was in the boat and dragging him down into the depths.
Bluto.
Bluto.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
That was memorable. Very memorable. I think for me, just finishing the campaign of this length is just huge. I'm really proud that we managed to sort of stick through it all. I know that there were pains along the way, and there were a lot of moments where a lot of frustrations happened, and we even took some breaks because things were getting a little dark and a little too hard for some people, and myself including. So yeah, just getting through it was awesome. From a DM's point of view, I really liked being able to. I'm really proud of some of the just little homebrew stuff I threw in. Things like giving you guys a chance just to play as the were-ravens and the guards and some of the other
frogs.
The frogs. Yeah,
the frogs. I remember the frogs.
Yeah. So that's some of the stuff.
I've got one that doesn't just steal what Adam said about me, which was the priest. Fuck, I've forgotten his name now. But before Lucian, he's in Barovia, and we had to kill his son. And like the conversation with him, like, this might not be what you want, but it is what you need.
That was awesome. But which one should just kill both?
That was really fun.
No, it was standing outside, summing up what to do. It goes, one of them has to do.
That's right.
Oh,
Father
God.
Donovich, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That was really satisfying because it felt meaningful.
Next question, Joe.
Okay, so this one's from Adam, and it's simply, give us all the tea about Patrina and Strahd's relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
Spill that tea.
I can give you some details on that now. I don't know if it specifically says if they had sex. I will.
I'm not interested then. You can move on to the next question.
Never mind. Okay, that's all we needed to know.
It's probably a call-out box.
It's a DM ruling sort of situation.
Effectively,
like they were living together, right?
She was absolutely obsessed with Strahd because of the power he held and wanted to be by his side. He allowed her to move in with Ravenloft. As you've seen, he's had many brides over the time, of which he turns into vampire spawn. She went back to the village to collect her stuff, and she got stoned to death. And effectively, Rahadin obviously then showed up and murdered all of the women Dusk Elves, the female Dusk Elves, and cut off Casimir's ear and yep. And effectively Strahd had lost by the book, Strahd had lost all interest in Patrina, despite just keeping her bones in a crypt in underneath Ravenloft. He had kind of really just forgotten about it. So all of that stuff he was saying at the end was really just his frustration at losing this version of Tatiana and just wanting to be like, oh well, they've killed all my brides. Just join me and I can give you some of that power that you want.
So she's in a way lucky to get stoned to death. Otherwise, she would have been a vampire spawn.
She would have just been turned into a vampire spawn, not like a big like a powerful vampire like Strahd himself.
She would have been living in the dirt next to his coffin.
Correct. And so 2 of those brides she knew, and 1 was turned after her demise.
Oh, what happened to Mad Mary's daughter?
Gertruda. She, while you were through Ravenloft, was still just in Ravenloft. She hasn't been bitten by Strahd yet. But she maintains a very fairy tale view of life. When faced with a decision, she'll almost always make the most simplistic one. She's naive to the point of being a danger to herself and others, and has been charmed. The reason she left is she got charmed by Strahd, and is basically under his spell. And so that spell will be gone. She would have sort of come to her senses within Ravenloft, and probably eventually found her way back to her mother.
Speaking of which, we had a question about her mother, didn't we, Joe?
What?
Her mother's was Mad Mary, right?
Mad Mary, yeah.
Oh, yes. Here's the question verbatim that Adam put in the chat.
Okay.
What was the point of Periwinkle and Mad Mary? Felt like they were there for a reason, but don't know what.
Mad Mary was meant to give you an excuse to go to Ravenloft, really. So if you wanted to get in there and go and just meet with Strahd, like early on, and see what's up. Go straight to his castle.
Instead of a meeting. Okay.
See, yeah.
Try to resolve it by...
Periwinkle is meant to be... So there's 2 different ways to read the card that you got given. One of them is that it's Periwinkle, and the other way to read it is that it's Irina. And Madame Ava read it the wrong way, and so it's really just a sort of a deception.
Yeah, but like you could... So he's not meant to be used in any way?
Oh, he can be. Like, he if you'd gone with him, that would have been fine as well. But he's known to be the worst character for that specific role.
He's known to be the worst.
Yeah,
what
like
role?
DM. Well, that was which.
Well, he's
card
just
was
weak
that?
and annoying.
Well, it's just he's not as.
You made him sound
enjoyable
like he
as
was
the others.
had almost locked in syndrome or something. The way he was like Periwinkle. Like he's not naming from.
Okay, let me bring up.
He's
let
like
me-
10 foot tall, super
So
muscle
he,
bound.
so he could have been venturing with us.
He
just
could have
like
been,
Irina
and like,
was.
and I was like, I realized my mistake very early on when you guys were like, "All right, let's take him with us," and I was just like, the fight with Strahd's not going to be for a very long time, and we're just going to have Periwinkle. He's got a
Honestly, I think, you know what?
he's got a -2 intelligence.
I would like to push back against that. I think almost any story thing that you choose can be done in a fun and good way that's not overbearing and annoying.
Okay,
I think there would be a way to have Periwinkle with you and have him be like a fun and lovable person that you become really attached to by the end.
Greg.
I need to show you I need to show you the real picture for Periwinkle, by the way.
Okay.
Because I did not do him. I didn't do him well. I did him a bit rotten, to be honest. So I've just. If you guys have got
It's
roll
just a
20
Pokemon
up?
that can only say his own name.
Have you got roll?
Have
20?
we got what?
Roll 20. That's the only way. That's the only way I can show you.
Yeah. Oh my god. Who's that?
That's Periwinkle.
That's his uncle. No, that's his uncle. That looks like his uncle. I can see the family resemblance anyway.
Wait, where are we? Are we on roll 20?
Yeah.
Bildrath.
No, Bildrath doesn't have a picture. That's Periwinkle.
His name is Parpol Centimere.
Cantemir, I guess that would be.
Cantemir. Parpol Centaur.
Fuck. Get him out of here.
Wait,
At the
where
same
is
time,
this? Is
Periwinkle-
it under the NPCs or something?
I just hit the show to players button.
Oh,
so
there we go.
There we go. Periwinkle is simple-minded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So?
I agree with Joe. I think you should have played him as lovable. And who knows? It could have been me and Periwinkle getting married instead of me and
That's
Ira.
fair.
Aw.
That is
Be like
fair.
It could have
Forrest
been.
Gump.
It could have been American's dream man. Don't close your mind.
Good -2
Exactly.
intelligence there. Perfect.
Should be like finally a man who just goes along with whatever I tell him to.
Yeah.
If we're honest though,
You've
and
got
he's
him well
like
trained.
If he was an NPC that was traveling with us, after a few weeks, we would have forgotten about him. And
100%.
He would have just stayed in the. But then we'd go and get him, like from
Yeah,
the tavern
yeah.
or something. He'd be
My
standing there.
original plan was that if you were to march on Ravenloft, he would meet you at the crossroads. That was like
I'll
the
meet you
original-
there. Honestly, I've got shit to do, guys. I can't.
He was gonna, he would have popped up at some point. But I was like, you know what? The story that you guys ended up crafting, because at the start I didn't know how big of a role Irina was going to take. A lot of people, Irina gets married to Strahd. A lot of people, Irina dies. A lot of people have Irina disappear with Sergei at the pond in Kretsk. And so the way that you guys
Furious if you'd done that.
yeah. Okay, well, that'll bring me to the next thing. We'll come back to that. But so by the time you started building up Irina, I was like, oh, I really don't want Periwinkle to be the one that you take to fight Strahd. It's got to be Irina, and it so happens to be that specific card can be read two ways. And so it was great to bring in Esmeralda, who also can do a Tarokka reading, who could be like, oh, she's read this card maybe incorrectly. It could mean Irina. So that wasn't me making up stuff. It was it just happened to work. I mean, I was making shit up, but it just happened to be by the book. It worked. If you didn't like the idea of Sergei taking away Irina at the pool in Kretsk, you would have hated the as-written ending for Irina. Because the as-written ending for Irina has basically Sergei just show up like a big flash of light, a stately man in shining armor and a flapping cape, introduces himself as Sergei. He turns to Irina and says, Tatiana, the time is at hand. Come, my love and wife. And he stretches out forth his hand. She goes, wait, I'm not Irina. I am Tatiana. I was always Tatiana. And they disappear.
You should have done that.
So,
what a bit. Well, I guess it fell apart like everything I've ever believed in.
That would have really set him back on the drink.
I couldn't do that. I just could not do that.
That's kind of crap.
I think I'd mentioned to you, Joe, earlier that more often than not, DMs change the ending of this story because it's kind of.
You'd hope so, because the characters are making their own story, and it's best to not stick to it.
So one other thing. And I'm not going with this. The world of Ravenloft is still alive in my head, so I've gone off in a different direction. But as written, Strahd can be killed and just comes back. Vampire just keeps bringing him back. So the idea was that you guys were all meant to leave, and that you'd get basically the insinuation that you really just did nothing. That it is a cycle that continues forever, and that you just managed to escape.
And that would have been a great conclusion to 3 years of
exactly. So there was
and adventuring.
There was no way I was going to do that either. So,
the ending was already sad enough.
Can you imagine?
And by the way,
stolen
counts
Irina
for nothing.
Away. Irina's gone. It all meant nothing, and you all went your own ways, leaving Mirakin alone. 3 years well spent, team.
And Baron Byram's evil now, by the way. And also Bill's a little bit evil as well.
And an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Next, what a cool end.
Awesome. So I love this escapist hero fantasy.
So I hope I did a little better for the ending than what the book had planned. I just was not happy with how the book had it.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
And it's meant to be, right? It's meant to be brutal. It's meant to...
It's not fun.
No, exactly. But it solidifies that thing that nothing you do ends up with a good result. Everything that happened, every time you tried to do anything good, the result was usually kind of bad or horrible.
Just like real life.
Yeah. Next question. First of all, do we want to break? Are you guys happy just to have a drink or a Calippo while you're...
Yeah, I'm
I believe we settled on Calippo.
A Calippo?
I'm going to go grab a non-branded frozen treat.
Say Pirates of the Caribbean.
I go with Caribbean.
Because that's how they say it in the movie, eh? But you don't go... You go to the Caribbean, right? If you're going to visit.
I don't
know.
Whatever you go to the Caribbean.
I go with whatever the locals say.
Yeah.
What if you...
Surely.
What if you can't... What if before you've asked the locals? What would you...
He Googles it.
You just be wrong.
Yeah. I'm just sure the movie is different from how everyone says it in normal life.
Probably.
And we've just...
It's just like an Americanism, is it?
I'm sure they say Caribbean. Okay, sorry.
Let's. What's the next question?
I'm going to find one that seems to flow on well. Okay, here's a good one that flows on well. What was Madame Ava's relationship to Strahd?
Oh, that is a good question. Let me bring up Madame Ava.
Because one person told us, like, oh, maybe she's related to him or something. Wasn't that right?
And again, I don't think there's a definite or definitive answer in the book, but there is basically what... Oh, here we go. No, there is a definitive. Madame Ava is Strahd's half-sister, though Strahd is unaware of this fact.
Oh, spicy.
Her real name is Katerina, and she is the daughter of a Vistani woman whom King Barov, Strahd's father, took to his bed during one of his many crusades. Madame Ava knows she is Strahd's half-sister, but has told no one of the royal blood flowing through her veins.
So she's Aemon Targaryen.
Sure.
Is that a Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones reference.
Right.
Is Ava really old?
She's very old. She's so over 400 years ago, Katerina came to Barovia and worked in the castle for a bit. She was even present for the wedding of Sergei and Tatiana.
Oh, you know when Strahd was looking out through past the mist up on the Yeasty Hill, and he saw his ancestral home. Where's that?
It's not in here. That was one of the things that is in the book.
Oh, you got to read the novel.
Like, the book. So it's not actually listed anywhere in here what part of Faerun or the world that is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find ones that don't pertain to Adam because I don't want to ask a question he was curious about.
Sure.
Well, Adam contributed a lot of questions, you see.
Right.
Here's a really good one that I thought you would be able to answer at length, to be honest. But what are the DM's critiques of Curse of Strahd?
Obviously, as I mentioned, the ending kind of just sucks. There's a few things that I just don't really understand. Like, there's so much in Ravenloft. There's just like floors and floors, a bunch of different rooms. The maps are just enormous. Do you guys have Roll20 still open?
This looks like, what's that Queen cover? And it's got the 4... It's just their heads in black space. One of them's decided to drink.
Night at the Opera.
Night at the Calippo. Mamma mia.
So I don't know if I want to take you through every map, but you guys saw basically 2 maps of Ravenloft. So the catacombs and then the next floor up from there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other maps for just Ravenloft itself. And the reason that seems weird, I mean, obviously there's a big castle. If you've got people that want to find a means of getting around, they can. But the weird thing is, it's like there's a part of the book where it just sort of feels like Strahd just lets you just come in and lets you just check out the place. And I'm like, at no point did that feel like a natural thing that would occur, because you guys were just like, fuck this guy sucks. And even going out to his place for dinner was was something that you guys didn't seem to really want to do.
I wanted to do it really badly.
No, sorry. You weren't in a hurry to do. And the more time that went, the more you were built to dislike the guy and not trust him.
I mean, I think we were not going to trust him, considering the module is called Curse of Strahd, and he's on the cover being the bad guy. But
yeah. I guess you don't know what the curse is.
And everyone in the town is like, Strahd is sending his minions to attack us and kill us.
Well, there's a lot of people who play this that so again, DMs try and subvert it to make it less what it is, I guess, and to help people not metagame as much, and make Madame Ava the big bad, and that all of the stuff that is being put on Strahd is actually Madame Ava's doing. So it is the curse for him to be in this land, but he's not doing all the bad shit. It's Madame Ava puppeteering everything. So there was an opportunity so one of the things I tried to do was not have him attack you for ages. I wanted him to just be this thing he was holding on to hope that he could convince you to maybe it's okay for Irina to be brought to him, basically.
Well, you didn't work very hard at that.
And it wasn't until there was a specific thing. I think it was the stealing of the dragon skull that I was like, you know what? He's not happy anymore, and he's just going to stop. And that's when
That's pretty late in the game.
It was, and it was kind of there was this dread every time he showed up, but he never really did anything to you guys. But there was that dread.
I think that whole what's the best word for it? Trope of like a big bad who can kind of stomp you at any time, but keeps on showing up and like not being a and not doing that. I think that's a super hard thing to pull off well. Yeah, and I think you did a really good job of that.
Cheers.
Because it's like, why wouldn't he just go, "You're annoying to me"? And I think you kind of had this answer for that the whole time, which was like, "You've got Tatiana. I need you to give her to me. Just do it, please."
Yeah. And there was going to be, like, if you guys had gone to dinner, there would have been, like, a real pleading of his case. There would have been him sitting down and trying to give you his full story and just trying to get you to understand that, you know, she doesn't remember who she was, but back then there was love and there was, you know, trying to sell his side of the story, and that her death wasn't his fault. It was a freak accident, and he just wants to make amends. Like, there would have been a big, hopefully, something that would have made you go, oh, shit. But then, like you said, there is always that name of the module, the Curse of Strahd. So it makes
a freak accident of her running away.
No, but that's just the story.
Leaping off of a
But it was a bit late for it. I think at that point, like being like, oh, I really wanted to go to dinner with him because that sounded cool. But like at that point, we've already wandered through a town that's being like ravaged by his attacks all the time, driving people to insanity and fear, and also like killing this poor woman's father, and her just being like, oh, I have autonomy and I want no part in losing my soul to, like, I'm not that person. Like, why would you be like, he has a point?
No. But you only heard that it was Strahd that was causing the attacks from other people. He would have been able to explain that it was out of his control, that the world and this whole place has been evil since he...
It's out of my hands, honestly.
I mean, I didn't try to stop it. I'm all powerful and I didn't try to stop it, but it wasn't technically
To which he
me.
would say he's not all powerful. It's all been talked up. This is all complete lies.
Me, little old Strahd.
But anyway, so
this old house.
No way.
It got to a point where there was just no way to be able to do that in any kind of meaningful.
I think it is.
way.
Must be.
I
difficult.
just live on the hill.
Because they want it to have the possibility of being like the Dracula novel, right? Where you're staying in there and you don't really know if he's nice or if he's just eccentric.
Yeah.
And he's doing weird things and he's cruel, but it's
So other than a heaping, steaming pile of bullshit, what would he have served us at dinner?
I think that is even mentioned in there. But yeah, so to answer the question, there's a lot of stuff that either isn't detailed enough or there is no direction at all. Like I literally had created a chapter in Roll20 called Chapter X, the missing chapter, because there is just nothing in a campaign that seems to be destined about pushing forward the idea of a war on Ravenloft. Because, you know, the first thing you learn about was that there was a war 100 years ago, like someone led this army, right? And then there's all these factions that you're slowly converting and helping and building up. At no point is there anything at all about what the gameplay might look like if that occurs. It just seems to feel like, oh, we know he's in the bone room, let's just teleport to the bone room and fight him. And like, that would just happen from the way the book's written. So there's a lot of stuff that I think could be improved with the book to answer that. Did you guys want to know what was served for dinner?
I already constructed in my head that he would be serving stuffed quail because that sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Thematic.
I thought a turducken.
Turducken. Similar vibe, so I think we're onto something there.
Blood sausage.
The table is laden with many delectable foods. Roasted beast basted in a savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid with a delicate, tantalizing fragrance.
Amber, interesting. I thought there might have been some sort of wine that was distinctly metallic taste.
Oh man, I so wish we'd gone, but yeah, the moment passed.
Yeah, we'd have to go back to like episode 12 or something.
Yeah.
But I think we're scaredy cats, really. I think we would have assumed that we'd go in there and there'd be no escape and he'd kill us.
No, I didn't assume that at all.
You don't think so?
I was like, it's clearly part of the game.
Yeah.
They wouldn't make it an inescapable scenario. That would just be a dick move.
But my character is a scaredy cat. He's not going to go.
I thought we would get eaten.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know if I'd sold it well, but you were very much meant to just be a plaything for him there. He thought that you guys would just be...
You sold that very well.
He's just there to just mess with you. He didn't want to kill you, because if he killed you, then he wouldn't have fun.
I thought you sold that really well, because you had the comments around like, hey, other people have come in, I've invited them in, and we just kind of muck around, and then I eventually get bored and kill them.
Party.
And then, but you keep on not dying when you're supposed to. So
yeah, I really wanted to have that slow build of his frustration that kind of led to this point with him holding American by like the collar, like by the throat, demanding to have Irina given to him. Like that to me I thought was quite a memorable moment as well. For me that was.
It was in the alley, right?
Yeah. Where you guys had already created an illusion of Strahd, which freaked everybody out. And then that was the thing that made all of the Lucky believe that the Burgomaster was lying about being able to keep Strahd out. So it was your illusion that undid Vallaki. And then he used that to appear in an alleyway to accost American and trying to get some information. Got another question there?
That leads to a question I had actually quite well. And what was the side plot with Lady Vesta? I know we missed something mysterious to do with cats in her house, and I was dying to know what that was at the time. And I remember being like, my character makes an ability check to see if I hear anything, and I failed it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll never know.
The Vesta house is fantastic. But I can see why people miss it. I can totally see. What happens in this? So first of all, underneath the house, there's a cellar for which she runs a cult, basically, like a demonic cult.
Oh, cool.
In her bedroom, she sleeps every night with her dead husband, who is just deceased in her room, and her daughter is completely insane. Because
she would be coming from that family.
Because
in the basement, gay dead upstairs.
yeah. There was something about her, the daughter, and Isaac were meant to be together, but Isaac. Let's bring up Stella. Stella is the daughter's name.
Stella.
She is Lady Vesta's insane daughter. A greater restoration spell can rid her of the madness. She thinks she's a cat, so a lot of those cat sounds were coming from her.
Oh my god!
Also, she's good at it too.
She blames her mother for treating her. Oh, I missed that from Shannon. Sorry.
I was just saying that she's also, if she's fooling us with her cat sounds, she must be good at it.
She's got a lot of practice in.
Absolute master.
She blames her mother for treating her horribly and using her as a pawn to seize control of the town, because Lady Vesta was trying to get her and Isaac together. So Stella knows none of her mother's secrets. apart from the desire to overthrow the Burgomaster. Oh no, sorry, not Isaac, Victor. Victor, which was the Burgomaster's son, Victor.
And he was cruel, right?
Yes, and was very, very, basically was the one that led her to become insane.
Oh.
By being just so cruel to her. Was using like magic and stuff to mess with her. So there's a lot of stuff about...
Wow,
anyway,
that would have been like 50 episodes alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So down in the cellar, there was basically the cult headquarters.
Is it written on a door somewhere, is it?
Just
Cult headquarters.
Yeah, with a down arrow pointing to the cellar. Lady Vesta has seduced so 4 people from the town with promises of power, wealth, and a long life. They're the members of her book club, so she just lets people know that she has a book club.
I like the Oprah book club.
Yeah. Sometimes they have the ability to... what are we looking here? Oh, and there's like 5 chairs down underneath the cellar in this cult, and she's got an invisible imp called Majesto.
Oh dear! I got a name one.
Wow. Stumbled across the invisible Majesto.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Which don't want to run into Majesto.
Which looks like this. If you've got Roll20 open.
It's not what I was imagining.
The baby.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a scorpion tail.
Yeah.
Majesto. What's the voice you had?
Majesto.
My name is Majesto. Something along those lines.
I'm kind of glad we didn't meet him now. You've blown your bloody larynx out.
He said, devils personify tyranny with a totalitarian society.
Oh, yeah,
There's like a whole long screed about it.
Oh, really?
Holy moly, it's got like chapters. He's like, the number 1 on the infernal hierarchy is number 1, Lemur.
Lemur?
Just a lemur.
This would be a whole campaign.
Yeah. There's like heaps.
The 9 helps as a rigid hierarchy.
Here we go. Check this out. There we go. That's Lady Fiona Vesta with her Majesto.
So what happened to Majesto when we killed Vesta? When we put a fucking spike in her heart?
Well, Majesto doesn't fight unless really needing to. So didn't need to. Didn't need to. Hadn't
been killed.
I hadn't introduced the cult stuff at all, so I didn't really bother with that by that point.
Yeah, it feels like a thread you could pull on or just not. Is that really how you spell Vesta?
Yeah.
Lady
I had to Google how to pronounce that, and I was like, "Is it Wakta?"
Has this come up earlier, or
didn't we have a thing about it?
I think so.
Yeah,
it might have been the episode where you had the sweats and the shits.
True.
Genuinely, it might have been.
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Shannon, are you aware that we can't see you at all? No camera.
Yes, even less than you.
Yeah.
Floating head, man. No, it's stopped working. I'm just going to reload.
Okay.
Just expecting Adam to bust out at any stage. Is this real life? Or is this just fantasy?
Next question. Whoa.
Sorry, it's too bright for even me.
D&D's your escape from reality.
Here's an easy-ish one. Where are the gems we didn't find? So one was with Baba Lasagna, right?
One is with Baba Lasagna. The
I
one
like how even you're calling it that now.
I just have to now. The one for the Champagne de la Stomp is in an unknown location. It is basically up to the DM to decide where it might be, or if it's even been destroyed. So you guys didn't show any interest in really going off to collect them. We probably would have. It would have probably inflated our campaign by another 30 episodes. So
yeah. We did want to get them, but it was basically
I'm not judging.
So long.
Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here that you guys didn't touch, and that's okay. because it's just okay. You've given them, instead of wine, you've given them Morley's mother. So that's it's perfect.
Yeah. We'll go back. The epilogue is that we go get the gems.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That end.
Well,
that's the real ending.
I don't know if there's any interest in it, but the reason I wanted to jump forward like a week before you guys, or 10 days or whatever it was before you guys left, is that if we want to ever go in and do a one-shot back in Barovia, we can. If we even want to. That's the thing.
Strahd's back.
Strahd's back, guys. It's just a one-shot. 98 more episodes. It's just a 98-episode one-shot.
That's the story, right? Like the old ones or whatever.
I was originally, if we had time to do the Christmas special, I was originally going to sort of re-theme the Baba Lysaga situation as a Christmas romp, basically.
A Christmas
romp? Or a Christmas romp?
A Christmas romp. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another question that's on here. Who was Baba Lysaga? There, I'll give her the right name for a minute. You don't have to say if you want to do something with it.
I honestly, it's not that I don't want to. I just never really looked into it because it looked like we were never going to go there.
Fair enough.
Got a house with chicken legs, or am I imagining that?
That's Baba Yaga, right?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
But she does have something. She does have something. She's got the a creeping hut, which is very, very similar.
How many Babas are there?
Is like a Polish folktale.
Yeah.
Is it Polish?
Something like that. Baba Yaga, yeah.
Or Hungarian or something?
Oh, Baba Yaga's not from the Curse of Strahd.
No.
Yeah, it's a real folktale.
She's real.
It's a real folktale.
But I think Baba Lasagna is probably largely based on that.
Lyndon Hood is saying Lyndon Hood's saying Russian. I do have some information from Baba Lysaga. I'll make it quick.
Baba Musaka.
Eastern European.
2 women gave life to Strahd von Zarovich. The first was Queen Ravenovia van Royen, Strahd's biological mother. The second was the Queen's midwife, a devout follower of Mother Night named Baba Lysaga. Although it was the former who raised Strahd and enabled him to follow in his father's footsteps, it was the latter who sensed a potential for greatness and darkness in Strahd, surpassing that of any other mortal. Lysaga believed then, as she believes now, that she is Strahd's true mother.
Oh, okay. That's complicated. Our midwife said a very similar thing. So something to watch out for.
That's a little concerning.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't carry him to term, though, did she? Just kind of the whole burden.
She uncovered the potential threat to Strahd of the were-ravens and has basically chosen to make them the bane of her existence, which is why she stole the gem and she's been trying to take over. And those scarecrows that were there when you were playing as were-ravens were some of her scarecrows.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I see.
And her blights? Her goddamn blights!
The blights and the druids, I don't think have anything to do with her.
Okay, that brings us to another question.
Okay.
What happens if the ritual at Yeasty Hill goes uninterrupted?
Yeasty Fest.
Yeast Fest. You get another... You get... What was his name? Winter Splinter. So effectively...
Another Winter Splinter.
Yeah, so effectively they had already done that once already and created Winter Splinter. They were about to create another using that Golthius tree, the roots from the Golthius tree off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That thing was bad enough, just having one. It was brutal.
Yeah, that's enough. One's enough.
One's enough. Yeah. Next
Can't beat Mold Earth, though.
You guys were fantastic with that.
The maths was a highlight.
I need to Google how many cantrips can you cast in an hour? Does it cost energy of any sort? Does it tire you out?
No. They're free action. It's like a normal attack. It's like if you were swinging your sword at a tree for an hour.
Yeah, so you'd get tired. What do you wouldn't get tired, John?
I mean, you could
Some
dig.
people I would, but I'm not an adventurer.
Not these gladiators in our party. They
Yeah.
wouldn't tire.
Not these absolute specimens.
I just feel like there needs to be some kind of otherwise. So like you could use this like witch bolt or fire bolt, just go just walking down the path.
Witch bolt uses a spell slot.
Oh, firebolt.
Speaking of firebolt, I wanted to do that in the final battle. I just wanted to like light up the sky with just like a constant molt of firebolt at the bats, but that would have been cheating.
But I'm just saying, this just seems strange that you can just go hog, what I like to call hog wild with cantrips.
They're mostly okay, but mold earth is it's useful. It's like Minecraft fully. You can just go
just dig trenches everywhere. Yeah. Next question.
I think we would have died very early on if we didn't have access to mold earth.
That fight
was
would have
really
gone differently.
The MVP.
Yeah, that was awesome, that fight. God, that was a long time ago.
It sure was. This is a question from Adam. What happened in the end to Godfrey and Leroy? The couple of gay chaps from Argynvostholt. I hope they got to live out their days together happily.
I remembered his name wasn't Leroy. His name was Vlad.
It was.
Right. I like Leroy.
The book doesn't state, so I'd like to open it to you guys to decide the fate of Godfrey and Vladimir.
They what were their main hobbies? They like started a small cute cottage business for whatever their favorite shared hobby was, I think.
Do you reckon they did up the castle? Got it back looking good again?
Yeah.
They would have they would breed like piglets and have like a petting zoo.
Cunny pigs.
I thought you said that breed.
Store.
I thought you said that breed like piglets, and I had like something. No. There's none of that made sense in so many ways.
They're breeding like piglets in here. I was just imagining like a cute little petting zoo or something like that, and people would buy a ticket, and there'd be like little goats.
Well, they're revenants, right? So it would be an undead petting zoo out the back in that little cemetery section, where you could come along and you could pet undead piglets or revenants or whatever you felt like.
Pet revenant. Yeah, well up for that.
In Barovia, it might work.
Okay, so I'll give it a little.
But they run a motel out of, probably not a motel, more like a hotel out of.
Got a dream.
Out of Argynvostholt.
It's not a motel, but a hotel.
This isn't really going where I thought it would be going, but okay.
Bonetel. No, it doesn't work.
Well, then what would you have said they do?
What I would have said they would have done, probably not as comical as a petting zoo where you can pet revenants and stay the night. Because the revenants are created from, Godfrey and Vladimir, I should say, was created from absolute anger and hatred and took form because his soul couldn't escape, right? And so anytime they died, they would find new bodies, and it was just this recycling. And I feel like with you guys helped them lose that anger and focus on what meant the most. They helped you lot by creating a revenant army to take on Strahd. Strahd's now gone. I imagine that they were finally free to ascend their souls away out of Barovia with each other to spend eternity in the afterlife with each other.
Why would you? No,
terrible.
Wouldn't reckon like that.
Undead petting zoo.
I like to think they'd be on instead of spending the afterlife in eternity with each other, they could have spent normal life,
unlife
for eternity with each other at the Hotel Argynvostholt. And it would have been like Faulty Towers, a Basil and Emmanuel style situation.
Okay.
You could check in any time you'd like, and you could never leave.
And your bill just keeps racking up.
All that, and that could happen as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But they were in the book. Were they lovers, or is it your own flavour?
No, they were in the book. They were lovers. Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
That surprised me, not because it should surprise me, but it was written a long time ago, and I think that was in the original as well. I think that's awesome. Because you know how, it's not one of those things that they adjusted for this new iteration that they rolled out recently. It was in the original.
It's in the 80s. What is it?
I'm not sure if it's in the 80s one. Shannon,
no,
the 80s was a different time.
Version.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, it's very progressive for the 80s.
Yeah.
D&D.
Yeah.
Another question?
Please, if there's any more.
There's 1, 2, about 5 left.
Oh, yeah, cool. We're doing all right then. I'm
Did
glad we
miss
wasted 40
anything?
minutes on that first one, actually. It's turned out well.
Wasted. You have such a way with words, Reagan. You make everything that we do here sound like it shouldn't be done. Like
Sorry,
it never have happened.
That's my Curse of Strahd. Sorry.
Curse of Reagan.
Curse of Reagan.
I've been meaning to travel to Castle Reagan Loft and stake you in the heart with a picket.
Castle Reagan Loft.
So this question is pretty simple. Did we miss anything by the lake in Kretsk?
The Mad Mage.
We didn't know about him.
I was going to ask
That's
about
right.
the Mad Mage.
We were going to go visit him.
You heard stories of the Mad Mage. You got close to and I even pointed out the very forest on the other side of the lake that the Mad Mage lived in. And at no point did we want to follow that, I guess.
Yes, we did. You always say, like I said, this is the Curse of Reagan Loft. I'm saying, every time you're like, you guys didn't want to pursue that, and I'm like, I literally talked about how much I wanted to pursue that so many times.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I will move away from saying that. Your characters showed no signs of wanting to follow that path.
We wanted to, but it just felt like
we were tight on time.
It was never the right time.
Yeah,
there was always something more pressing.
The Mad Mage.
Hey, you're being attacked by the undead forces of Strahd. Do you want to fuck off for a week and go find this mage?
Yeah.
Can you tell us
5 sessions left? Shall we go meet a new character with a storied history, or shall we finish the game?
How mad was he?
Oh, fucking mental. So
let's hear the voice for the Mad Mage. We've got to.
I was going to adjust the Mad Mage. I had some big plans for the Mad Mage. As written, he would believe that you were there to kill him, and he would just unleash destructive magic against you, and he would basically be so certain that you were being sent by the dark powers to kill him. And he would try and fight as much as he could, and then he would try and escape if he started losing too many.
We got someone that can do calm emotions.
Exactly.
He was only half wrong, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Most of the characters we met, like a brutal slaughter was on the cards at some point.
Yeah. Effectively, if you had healed him of his madness, you'd find him to be none other than Mordenkainen, an archmage of Earth, and the leader of a powerful group of adventurers called the Circle of 8. But he's had a mind blank spell on him, and he would invite you, once you cleared his mind, he would invite you to his mansion, and he'd lead you up the mountains to an invisible doorway into an extra dimensional lair, and he could provide you with food and sanctuary away from Strahd and his spies. So he's
a very famous wizard from D&D.
I was going to keep most of that, but change him to being Glassstaff. I was going to bring back.
He's dead.
No, Glassstaff escaped. Remember, he fooled Duran, and Duran let him go, and he was never seen again.
Oh, I thought I killed him and took his staff.
No,
You're thinking of Nesnar, the black spider.
Yeah. So it was going
to.
I was going to keep all of the rest, but I just wanted to. I thought it would be cool. It's like years later, and that because like the Mad Mage was brought in by Strahd, and also it was going to be Glassstaff years later, powered up as this powerful wizard.
But he's a baddie.
Well, he'd lost his mind. You know, he'd gone completely crazy. He'd, yeah. So it was going to be just a little bit of a change. Either way, so there was a bit there. There was a bit there that could have occurred.
Oh, wow.
I'm just seeing if there's anything else there. Oh yeah, and he can even be, if the reading chose, he could have been the party's ally as foretold by the card reading as well.
I see.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really the only thing you missed at the lake.
It's just one small thing.
Just a huge, enormous side character.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is a question I don't want to ask, but I'll ask it.
I already know what you're going to ask.
Oh, no, you don't.
Does it involve a wagon?
Yes. Damn it. I don't want to know all the cool stuff that was happening in the wagon that blew up because of me. So let's just skip this question. In my mind, the wagon never happened.
All right, the treasure inside the wagon. A wooden trunk covered with claw marks that holds a battle axe, a flail, a morning star, a light crossbow, and 10 silvered crossbow bolts. A narrow wardrobe containing 3 sets of fine clothes, 2 sets of traveller's clothes, several pairs of shoes, a harlequin mask, and 3 wigs. A climber's kit, a disguise kit, a healer's kit, and a prisoner's kit. A magical lyre with golden strings, which would have been a new lyre for...
Bards yet?
I think it's an instrument of the bards, which is a wondrous item is in regards to its rarity. It would have given stone-shaped wall of fire and wind wall as
Wonderwall. You can play that.
We can play Wonderwall.
Anyway, here's Firewall.
Sculpted wooden cage holding a chicken and a silver ewer with 5 chicken eggs in it. Let's not talk about the chicken. A tiny wooden box containing a deck of Tarocca cards. I moved that away from that just so we could get Esmeralda to do that. A set of copper pots and pans, 3 sets of manacles, a shovel, a wooden chest containing a gold holy symbol of the Morning Lord, 3 vials of holy water, 3 vials of perfume, 2 vials of antitoxin, a 50-foot coil of hempen rope, a tinderbox, a steel mirror, a sharpened wooden stake, and a spyglass, 2 spell scrolls for a major image and remove curse, a map of Barovia showing all the locations marked on the adventurer's map of Barovia, and a charred page from Van Richten's journal.
Not much then.
It's not heaps. Just a couple of spells and a wondrous lyre.
All jokes aside, like you could take or leave most of that.
Exactly.
That's how I genuinely.
Look, you guys won the campaign. You beat Strahd. You didn't need those items. Yeah.
It's so chock full that I expected to be like 3 things. There's a book and a note and some pointing somewhere else, and
she lived out of it.
Some
so
item.
Really just destroyed everything.
She's like a hoarder.
That's just normal stuff.
I mean, she had like 15 things.
Yeah,
I'm sure most people have more than 15 things.
3 types of clothing. What a hoarder!
How many pots of pants?
You don't need a whole set of
3
pots
changes of clothes. That's what I want.
Sounds like Mary Kondo, actually.
Did she need the shovel? I don't know.
She's like a minimalist.
Yeah.
A tiny home.
Yeah, so I have huge regrets for the chicken situation.
The chicken situation. Imagine if you just jumped into Twitch now. I'll give this stream a chance, and it's the DM going, I have huge regrets for the chicken situation.
You'd be like, I'm in. I'm hooked.
I want to apologize to my family, to my friends.
I really didn't want to be talking about this again.
That chicken should never have been in that place at that time. I should never have set up that video camera.
Yeah. And honestly, I can't say this enough. My pants just slipped, okay? They were riding low a little bit, and I was just pulling them back up.
Rudy.
I love that whole tower scenario. I thought what was really cool about that tower scenario was my absolute fear that you guys were just going to leave it, and trying to help give you ideas that the puzzle was totally solvable. But I remember at the time, I think you guys looked at a few things, thought about it for like 3.5 minutes, and then went, nah, let's just go. Let's just carry on to the winery.
Oh, I thought we were trying all sorts of things.
You did
crack
once
it through interpretive dance.
Yeah, once I hinted at something. I think someone did something. I was like, oh, there's like a vibration from something, and that was like, oh shit, okay, no, there is. And then you started doing a whole bunch of stuff. But there was a real serious concern that you guys were just going to be like, oh no, the tower's locked up, let's go, and that was going to be it. Yeah.
Sounds like something we'd do.
Larp's asking if they found the head. You did find the head.
We spoke to the head.
I don't know where it is. I just imagine he's still got it just like hanging off his hip still.
Yeah, holding.
Just this Vistani, just dead Vistani boy's head.
Yeah, it's
like God of War.
Yeah, maybe maybe I should have mentioned that when you like showed up to the Vistani camp. Maybe that would have been interesting. Another question?
Here's a good one. Why was Rahadin eating a frog?
Yes. Tell us why.
There's like a full thing for that.
Oh, yes.
I hope so. It wasn't just the spur of the moment frog eating.
Strahd's loyal chamberlain Rahadin believes that his master forged a pact with the nameless god of secrets to whom the Amber Temple is dedicated. The Dusk Elf comes to the temple on occasion to petition the Dark God into releasing his master from his torment.
Aww.
Rahadin rides a phantom steed to the Amber Temple and kneels before the great statue. The Arcanoloth that guards the temple, the thing that was attacking you.
The German fox.
Yeah. Knows Rahadin and doesn't harm him. The Arcanoloth and the Flame Skulls don't attack other visitors until Rahadin is killed or leaves. Rahadin then pulls out a live toad, swallows it whole as a sacrifice, and offers a gesture of supplication to the secret god.
Wholesome. We stand Rahadin. Now I'm in the Rahadin fan club.
Yeah. Said if the characters confront the Dusk Elf, he defends himself but won't cause them any permanent harm. You guys instead just fucked him up like straight away, and he ran away crying.
We did.
Yeah.
I reckon he should have died.
Okay.
I mean, he did.
He did eventually.
Yeah, he should have just fucking died.
So we should have come up
a frog.
Because this is his like ritual to the god of secrets that he thought was the. So he must have read it in a book.
He's just made
somewhere.
that up though. Oh, like one of the mental bastards. It's like, if I eat a frog, everyone will give me the powers, won't they? Yeah, I'll eat a frog.
What? He thought he was doing something good by his master, Strahd.
He was trying. He was doing his best. Okay.
It's the frog though that's specific. Is that what you got a problem with?
It's actually a toad.
He's not going to like ask Strahd why he got his powers or anything.
It's just going to be such a reach, isn't it?
I'm just taking a stab here.
I just like that maybe this is the first time he's done the toad thing, and it's every other visit he's doing something else that's just fucking random and bizarre.
You didn't mention that it was a Freddo frog.
He's just like,
He got there.
It's just nice.
It would have been better if he just said he's French.
Normally a buzz bar.
That would have been.
Only ate the legs.
So that was just Rahadin trying to help Strahd without Strahd.
Okay, we could have changed him. Okay. Next time. What was the point of the Ravenloft miniature in the Amber Temple?
It's been gnawing at me.
Okay. It was basically... let me just open this up in Roll20. So X20. It basically was just the construction of the original architect, a wizard named Artemis. He built a scale model of the castle out of magically sculpted rock. As just a... he built it in the months leading up to the construction of Castle Ravenloft. So this was like the proof of concept for the future build.
A maquette.
Yeah, that's all it was. This was his room.
Nice. Very good. Easy.
Oh.
The next question was, why did we even go there?
Okay. Well, this is a long story.
Oh my god, I've saved I've saved one of Adam's questions for last, and it's a little silly. Can we guarantee Father Lucian wasn't left alone with Vasilka for an extended period of time?
I can't guarantee that.
Oh gosh.
And
Oh no.
and Vasilka,
so
I mean, have you seen her?
Yeah, not lately. Which is a bit of a worry.
Yeah. No, I don't think Vasilka and Lucian ever met. Vasilka would have stayed up at the Abbey, and I think people would probably going to ask about her, but then notice Lucian's around, was just like, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. Extraordinary.
We don't want to excite him.
But that's a good question though. What happens to her at the end of the game? What is she, by the way? Is she an undead type construct, or is she
good question. She is a flesh golem.
It's so much worse than just leaving it as it was. A flesh golem.
So
she's a human fleshlight. Okay. That is awful.
Okay, so a flesh golem is a grisly assortment of human body parts stitched and bolted together into it says a muscled brute, but obviously that's not her. But
muscled brute.
Well, normally that's what a flesh golem is. Obviously they've made they've
muscle brute.
They've used
model.
more feminine parts for this one instead of. Its brain is capable of simple reason, though its thoughts are no more sophisticated than those of a young child. Again, problematic. The golem's muscle tissue responds to the power of lightning, invigorating the creature with vitality and strength. Powerful enchantments protect the golem's skin, deflecting spells, and all but the most potent of weapons.
It's basically Frankenstein, right?
Basically a Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
She is basically a Frankenstein. But very hot. This one's very hot.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah. But Vasilka does have okay, so we talked about how dumb they were, right? She has the same intelligence modifier as Periwinkle, by the way. She has the same stat block as a flesh golem as well. So she has what's called berserk. She can go berserk.
Oh, but she can. Such a Lucian.
So her and Periwinkle live happily ever after. That's what you're saying.
Sure. I don't know how I feel about that one. She does have a move. She does have an action called Slam, so that could be all right for poor Perry.
No,
like Mario's butt slam.
So yeah,
it's awful.
Okay, so yeah, she's basically an abomination of some kind. And,
but
should never have been.
Yes, that is correct. She should probably have been one of the things that got destroyed along with the mongrel folk. But as the abbot sort of mentioned, he had been trying to teach her manners and to be more human-like.
Right?
He did.
He's made a lot of mistakes.
He's made so many mistakes.
He's like the island of Dr. Moreau, like a porno version of Moreau.
The island of Dr. Porno. That could be a whole series.
That probably already exists, let's be honest.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we've got an actual... Here we go. We've actually got like proper details here for specific... I was just reading the flesh golem stuff.
Oh, do we need them?
Just a little bit more. Vasilka is a flesh golem that has been exquisitely put together to serve as Strahd's bride by the abbot. Characters within 5 feet of Vasilka can see the seams in her powdered skin where disparate body parts stolen from Kretzite graves have been carefully stitched together. He's teaching Vasilka the finer points of etiquette. He also intends to teach her how to dance. Vasilka obeys his every command. She can't speak, but lets loose an unholy scream if harmed. If driven berserk, she fights until the abbot reasserts control or until she is destroyed. She has the supernatural strength of a typical flesh golem, despite her smaller size. So yeah,
worst part of the whole campaign.
So
Jesus.
Yeah, that whole abbey was the worst part of the campaign. As far as nightmarish shit.
Yeah.
We ended up having to kill everybody.
Oh, it was bad.
Actually, now I've kind of forgotten a little bit about the abbey, on whether I added something to it and made it way worse than it was, or if it was always really bad.
Okay.
The part that was particularly triggering for me, this is where I thought it crossed the line, was when you said that some of them were pregnant.
Let's just have a quick.
Just looking to see if he's added that.
I don't remember that. Oh my god!
I killed so many babies and stuff. I did with my.
Yeah, that whole thing was a bit
fucked up,
out of pocket.
Yeah.
Just a quick look.
No, just doing some research.
Just,
broken art.
Oh, so there in one of the cells there are mongrel folk babies. Filthy mongrels cradle screaming young in the debris-strewn corners of this room, while several more hoot, holler, roll on the floor and whack each other with sticks.
Yep.
So because you didn't walk through and take a look into each of the cells, you didn't see that, but the insinuation was there was breeding occurring in there were babies and So I may have added the pregnant part, but there were babies, and I just wanted to make it like that was still an ongoing thing of creation.
Yes. Yeah, it's grim.
It is. It is grim. I was really hoping to read that because I was like, fuck, I didn't add the babies, did I?
Right.
I was like, that's too dark. I can't have done that.
There are 2 dogs who mean no harm.
Oh shit, that's what they mean by mongrels. Damn it!
Sickening mongrel folk fucking in the dirt, hitting each other with sticks.
I still don't know what happened to the mental one you let go. I haven't really figured it out. I was looking for a way to try and bring.
Well, she's left Barovia now, right?
Clearly,
and off on her own adventure.
Possibly.
She's gone to become an accountant at someone's castle. An actuary.
Married Periwinkle.
Stop trying to set Periwinkle up.
Yeah, that was definitely like the darkest part, I think, of this campaign.
That's what they say, isn't it? We're living in the darkest part.
Yeah. And then just having because that rolled directly from like obviously the reveal of what had been killed by the sickening radiance. Then the abbot sort of revealing more and being like, oh yeah, well, if you want this to stop, you have to end them all. And it's kind of being like, because I'm not going to do it. If you don't like it, if you don't do it, they're just going to keep breeding. We're just going to keep doing this. So if you don't like it, do what I can't and murder them all for me. So then there was that darkness of going through and that I'm glad that we didn't painstakingly go through. We sort of went through it, just painted a very dark picture. And then as you descended from the abbey, Ismark's body delivered to you. So that whole section was just... Well, I think we took like a 2 or 3 week break of just doing something different. Yeah, after all
for my character, I think after he'd gone through that of having to go through and kill all the men, women, and children that are all insane. After that, he was just like, fuck it, and would not, we used to like question, oh, should we kill this? Is he a baddie? Can we change them? He was like, no. I think it's gone beyond that now. I'll just fireball them.
Yeah.
Or everybody that is seemingly evil.
Yeah. I think it's pretty common knowledge that this campaign breaks characters, leaves them broken. And I remember when we first played, when we started and we sat down for our session 0, we were just like, how dark do we want to go? We want to sit in these sort of, oh no, we can handle Curse of Strahd, we'll be okay, we won't go too dark. And I think as a DM, I think I went too far and probably made it too dark. And I think I got caught up in, this is what D&D is. It is just dark and horrific. And as soon as we started doing some of like Morley's origin story, I was like, oh man, this is fantastic. This just feels so much. It just feels so much lighter and fantastical. And I just was like, oh, this is great. So it was really nice to bring back in like the guards and bring in the Were Ravens, where it was just having a bit more fun with it, adding a little bit of light to it again before finishing this off. But I needed to remind myself that D&D can be light and fun instead of just dreary and horrific.
Yeah, that's probably why we call people like Vaseline and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trying to change.
Who was your favourite NPC, Reagan?
I really liked Ismark. I liked Ismark from like the get-go. I enjoyed role-playing as him, and I liked that he seemed likable. Like sometimes it's you create an NPC and the players are just like, fuck this guy, like I hate this guy. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, we've got to figure out. Because I remember in the previous campaign, I think I struggled to create NPCs that the group liked. And so this was nice to just the first NPC, the first proper NPC that you meet. He was just friendly and was happy to see you and a bit light. I also really, really enjoyed Davian.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you guys?
What you were going to say.
Right. Favorite NPCs for you guys? Gar in the chat saying Greg. Thank you. That was a.
Thanks for that.
That was a.
I liked visiting the toy maker at the
Blinsky. That's who I thought you were going to say is your favourite NPC, Reagan, for some reason.
Right.
He had a monkey. He had a crazy voice.
I like Blinsky. Speaking of Blinsky, he actually had a side quest for you, but we never delved into it. If you guys were ever going to disappear off for dinner at Ravenloft, he would have asked you to like. He would have interrupted you. He would have like been like, "Well, wait before you go," and he would have asked you to find. He'd heard that in Ravenloft there was a very rare toy that he had heard about, and he'd only ever heard about it, and he wanted to see if you could return it to him, basically.
What would he have given us?
I'd have to take a look.
Sorry, it's not the curse. Sorry, forget that.
And he was talking about Piddlewick 2. Or Piddlewick the Second, I guess, is probably the...
That was real.
That is real. He is a little clockwork...
Chucky.
Little clockwork toy, basically Chucky, yeah. Is a small construct created by a magical toy maker. And he is an evil toy, by the way.
Chucky.
Yeah. So that would have been another little extra to find within Ravenloft. He's basically, it is Chucky, which is great. But yeah, sorry, others' favourite NPCs? Joe?
I'm trying to think.
Okay.
I can't think, there were so many.
There were so many. I ended up I always wanted to give every character their own voice, but I started getting very similar by the end there. There was too many. Oh, and you guys didn't even touch the whole werewolf thing realistically.
I think.
Sorry, you go, Joe.
Oh, I was going to say, I think my favorite NPC was the burgomaster of, I'm losing the name of it. You know, the evil guy.
Oh, from Vallaki?
The Vallaki guy.
All will be well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fun.
It was nice going to his house.
You guys were pissing him off something chronic in his house. It was great. It was so good.
What were you going to say, John?
I was going to say I'd give a top 3.
Yeah.
For favourite NPCs. Father Lucian, coming in at 3.
Okay.
Davian at number 2. And of course, the colloquial favourite, coming in at number 1. You love him. I love him. Adam loves him. Greg. Greg the guardsman.
Perfect.
I just like. Obviously, he wasn't meant to play a central role.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't at all.
But against all odds, he did. He was an underdog who outperformed his station. He made this campaign.
Yes, a grip, man. How many Kalamochos have you had? Stupid. God.
Where's your top three, Adam?
Oh, Greg, and Greg.
Thank you. Finally, the truth comes out.
It'd be Ian, wouldn't it? Untouchable Ian.
Yeah. Crick, Greg.
Ian, P, yeah.
I don't think I have a top three. I think, yeah, for me, Davian was probably number one.
You quite like Exathanta's voice, eh?
Exathanta was great as well. I loved how unashamedly evil he was. It was so good.
Was he evil?
He was absolutely
he literally
evil.
said it out loud.
He was definitely evil. But he, like...
I thought we didn't do good and evil, Reagan.
I mean, liches by definition are evil.
Reagan means alignments. We don't do alignments.
We don't do alignments. But he's evil. It was all about, evil people still have friends, That's basically what he thinks. You still have to work with people. And he saw great potential in the Baron.
Yeah.
I believe his words were, "Come and be evil with me."
At the very end. And I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, the Baron knows what a lich is, so...
Oh, you're coming along very well, O'Brien, with your evil.
That's another quote of his.
Yeah.
I think I was doing my own mini version of a homebrew D&D there where all undead aren't evil. But yeah.
I like that.
But it is delusional, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, he's going straight back to the temple just to get his powers back. Like, he could, if he wanted to. Now that he's out, he could be a slightly gimped version of himself away from the dark powers. But instead, he's going to go back and get all his powers back because that's what he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
Ungimped.
Yeah. So he would have gotten received those powers from one of the amber sarcophagus.
Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi. Yeah.
I've got one last question.
Okay.
What's a hype train?
No.
I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Larp Kiwi in chat says, by the way, do you know that as written, if you use animate dead regularly, there are downsides? Tell me more. I didn't realize that.
First I've heard of it.
I need to... I wonder where that's written, because I don't think it's on the spell page.
Can you be a bit more specific than downsides?
Smell like
the downside that you're evil.
Yeah, I wonder if it does have like if you were using alignments, I wonder if it pushes you more and more towards an alignment.
It's not in anything that's in the spell.
No. Interesting.
Maybe they just mean downsides for the DM because it's harder to TPK everyone.
Dude, those skeletons were the fucking bane of my existence with almost every fucking fight. I was just so frustrated so many times on fight. Not like not legitimately annoyed at Shannon, but like as the people who are fighting your characters, those skeletons were always stopping them. Always. So great. Absolutely great.
They're our wall.
Yeah,
our wonder
yeah.
wall.
Our wonder wall.
Yeah. Otherwise, what have we got?
Yeah, exactly. You would have been pretty squishy otherwise. Yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Oh, the one thing I thought was really good, just if we go back to like the second episode, maybe the third episode, was there was a moment where you guys found the bodies of the two kids, and that the the ghosts of the children were there to talk to you, and you guys did such a good job, because if you had just tried to leave without convincing them that I can't remember how it flowed, but you guys looked after them, and the idea is that if you just left, you could have instantly been possessed and had flaws added to your characters for the rest of the campaign.
Oh.
So that was
screw that.
So that was there from the start.
This is to whoever wrote the module. Sincerely, stop it.
Listen to this flaw.
Like that.
Listen to this flaw that you could have got. I'm scared of everything, including my own shadow, and weep with despair when things don't go my way. You could have had that for your character from the second or third session.
It's so annoying. Like, why would you write that into a game?
Yeah, as an adventurer.
It's so annoying.
It's
for
brutal.
Everyone. It's not even just annoying for the character. It's either you're just a bad role player and you forget to do it, or you just have to cope with being the worst, most annoying person to be around the whole adventure.
Yeah.
Like,
my
why?
Paladin. Oh, actually, you're scared shitless of everything, and you're
because it's not like a curse that can be removed with curse removal or spells or stuff. It's literally a flaw. You get this.
I literally would just be
flaw.
like, my character leaves the party. I'll roll up a new character. I'm not playing this.
Yeah. To be honest, I think once you leave the Death House, that would have gone, but it would have been fun to have just had it attached to you for
what?
I
thought you said it was a permanent character flaw.
I'll find the exact.
You said the rest of the campaign. Were your exact words.
Yeah.
The Death campaign.
I'm trying to have a look.
The Death mini campaign.
If it was just for
it's a bit of a test, right? Like,
or until you put their take them. No, I think it's permanent. Until you put their spirits to rest at their skeletal remains. So if you had just gone and left and just carried on, you would have had it for the rest of the campaign.
You're scared shitless of their skeletal remains. So
and would there be any way of knowing that that's what you had to do?
Yeah.
You would have to write it in like you would realize that's what you have to do or something. Otherwise, like, how would your players ever guess that?
I don't know. That's why. So I didn't. I moved. I liked the ways that you guys. I think it was the Baron role played with them at the time. That was awesome, and it was like looking at the dollhouse and stuff like that. It was just calming them.
Treat them like kids.
And I was just like, oh man, you guys have been too nice for them to suddenly possess you, because that was going to be them possessing you, giving you this flaw. But yeah, and it sounds like Larp Kiwi's removed that from his as well, which is it may have been taken out of the edition. There you go.
Because it fucking sucked.
They're like, you know what? That was too much of a dick move even for us.
I just didn't. It's like I said. There's a lot in this that I just either didn't touch or.
And D&D's different now, right? Because in the olden days, you would be ready to die. You know, your character's likely to die. There's famous modules where you just get disintegrated. You put your head into something. But it's different now. It's more of a story.
Yeah. But I think that's us.
Story.
Gara is wondering if we're going to be doing any more origin stories, because they enjoyed the Morley one so much. I loved the Morley one, so it's definitely an idea for. Look, at the moment, I'm not sure what we're going to be jumping into next year. I don't know. We've got a lot of conversations to have offline just to discuss and see what's happening next. But could be anything at this point. I have no idea. I think some people want to do some carry on with the characters in their current state. Maybe we can do a jump forward in time, or we can do a new characters, a new campaign. I don't know. I've got no idea. Could do an origin story. Who knows? We'll figure something out. Yeah. But that's us. That's us for the year. That is our final session for the year, and we've done with Curse of Strahd. And thanks to everybody who has watched us, and thank you guys for being just awesome players and getting to the end. It was very hard at points there, but we pushed through and we did it. And I think, as sad or as melancholy as the ending was, I think it was very fitting, and it gives us a nice starting point for another adventure if we do carry on with the same characters. But yeah, do you guys want to say anything about the campaign, or to the chat, or to me, or to anybody, or each other? I don't know. How do you guys want to end all this? Just with a goodbye?
and a thanks.
Cool.
And a thanks to everyone who chatted and said funny things or engaged with the campaign in any way at all, whether that be watching a recap or posting comments in Discord, mostly. And thanks to you, Reagan, for all the hard work and effort you put in, and your perseverance dealing with, the odd silly comment. I know it wasn't really much, but you navigated those waters pretty well.
A rare silly comment.
I think it didn't. The joking around only started to frustrate me towards the end because I knew I was trying to push through to that end. I just wanted to make sure we could do it justice. If we were continuing on to the next year and with the same campaign, but we did want to get it finished. If we had been just continuing on, it wouldn't have been a problem. So I would.
And John has said sorry for that a number of times. And I think we can all forgive him for his constant clowning around in the reckoning.
Yeah. I honestly,
I really appreciate the spirit of forgiveness that's been shown by everybody except me. Thank you.
DMing you guys has just been incredibly rewarding. I've loved every single session we've had, and I like that any issues that have popped up with being able to chat about openly and discuss and move on from, which has been really cool. And I hope there's more. I hope you guys all find a means or time or capability to come back in the new year for something new, whatever that is.
I was just going to say thanks first and foremost to Reagan. Obviously, we wouldn't have a campaign at all without you, so really appreciate it. And like Adam said, putting up with our tomfoolery, and also just running a fucking shit out campaign, man. I can't believe you've only been DMing for like the lifespan of this group. Very, very good at it. Second of all, to the viewers. Like it brings this totally different dynamic, and it's really we really appreciate it. It's really interesting seeing comments and kind of having something beyond the campaign that kind of we can interact with too. The people
who are here right now have probably watched 200 plus hours of our stuff, which is insane. It's absolutely insane.
That is insane.
I mean, you guys are insane.
Mad Mary.
I shouldn't have been so ready to agree.
That is your fucking insane.
That is fucked.
But you are. And so, just before I shut up, also thank you to my co-adventurers who we just had some amazing moments. It was really, really fun. So thank you very much.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't believe it's over. I mean, and thanks for sticking with it, Reagan, and everybody. That's such I'm sure most D&D campaigns don't last that length of time.
Yeah,
and finish. It's a big sense of accomplishment, really. But it just doesn't even seem like we've finished. But once it sinks in, that it's a big adventure. And we didn't rush it, that's for sure.
No, we did not. We definitely did not rush it. With 5 episodes just getting through the death house at the start. No, we did definitely not rush.
What's the antonym for rush?
Yeah.
We moseyed.
Yeah. Moseyed on down to Strahd's house.
Lyndon said we can enjoy a well-deserved week's break.
Thank you, Lyndon.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's us. Hope everybody has a great Christmas and New Year's break, and we'll see you sometime next year. And thank you guys again.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
See ya.
Bye.